Cool. Preview Lake at McKinley over here. That's nothing, right? You got it. All right. Did you bring us in, big dog?
All right, welcome in, everybody. TJ Downing here alongside Jim Bostic and Jamie Fausnight as we are getting you set inside of the Perry High School Gymnasium for Cleveland State hosting Iowa State. We apologize for any inconveniences for anybody trying to live video stream this broadcast. We were just told earlier that some exclusive streaming rights from the ultra successful and powerful UFC were going to deny us that opportunity. So myself, TJ Downing, joined again by Jim Bostic and Jamie Fausnight, presentations of athletics on Stark Media streaming services, always brought to you by our good friends at Hilscher Clark Electric Company, and also the Eagles FOE 190 in downtown Massillon. Well, guys, Jim, Jamie, Jim, you've covered a little bit more football. Jamie, you've started to dabble into it, and we know that fall is coming to a close, and that means one thing. We're ready to dive back into combat sports here, the combat sports division of Stark Media, and obviously that started with last year's creation of our wrestling platform, and it's back now. We know we're getting talk about a sweet taste before we get into the Stark County preview, Hoover's tournament.
Absolutely.
We're getting a chance to see some high-end collegiate wrestling here as Cleveland State, the Vikings, are hosting the Cyclones of Iowa State. But obviously, Jim, the return of Mr. Carr.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this whole event, centered around, I'm sure, helped promoted Coach Nate, of course, working with the Perry program here. As he was head coach for many years, great success. His son, David, of course, four-time state champ here out of Ohio, went over to Iowa State. And, definitely something to bring back home and give some view of what college wrestling looks like to a lot of our young men and women in high school. James, I'm going to tell you what. I mean, I'm looking around the stands here, seeing a lot of guys coming up, giving you a little high five and hugs there, buddy.
Well, I tend to know a lot of people in these types of settings. I've coached a lot of kids, actually a few that are competing today. What's really fun about this time of year is, like you said, TJ, the football season starts to wind down, but some of the most important games are coming up, so football season bleeds right into wrestling, and it's some of the most exciting part of the year for me, that for certain.
Two sports that you're going to see a lot of blood in, right?
Well,
football into wrestling.
I don't want to see much blood out here on the mat. Come on now.
Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, and we'll give a shout-out to our boy John Lowry, who I know he's listening. We'll have him back in the fold here before the high school wrestling season officially kicks off. But for me, as we were all down there at the state tournament inside the shop calling those finals matches, and I had a chance to sit there on the D3 mat and call those matches with John Lowry, and I'll never forget, I'm drawing a blank on the young man's name, but they used probably an entire duffel bag full of plugs to try and get this kid's nose to stop bleeding, and they just kept stuffing, and he kept looking at the trainer, and he goes, "Get me back out there. Get me back out there. Just stuff it." And it turned, he started becoming combative with the trainer.
I'll tell you, wrestling is different. Wrestling is different. Like, I remember a finals at our tournament at the North Canton Holiday where a kid had a bloody cut above his eye. Just so happened it was a reoccurring cut. Dad happened to be a doctor right in the middle of the finals, walked down, moved the trainer out of the way, stapled his eye shut. They bandaged him back up, and back out on the mat he went. You don't see that at a tennis match so often, But
on a golf course, come out with the staples and.
I mean, it's not like that happens every day in our sport, but it is. I've seen it before.
That's hilarious. Well, we must be loud, Jamie. I look down, some people's looking up at us. I mean, I know we're loud in our ears on our mics, but I didn't think we were that loud. I mean, it's too quiet in here. This is a wrestling match.
Well,
We've got to get
excited. It's just getting started. They got the prelims going.
Yeah, we had two preliminary matches there. First one, of course, was won by the Iowa State wrestler, and the second one taking place right now scores 10-3. And it's under the home, so I'm going to guess, is that Cleveland State going to be under the home board tonight?
Yeah, I believe so.
We haven't been told that, but that would make sense.
I could see him making an argument for both ways.
That's true. Coach Carr wants to look up on the board and know that Perry is, his score. I love it. So, T, just, as you said, again, waiting for our varsity match to get underway here. A lot of coverage this fall with the football, and of course Stark Media had taken a step up to the next level, I guess I'd like to say. Friday night we had our first video presentation of the high school football playoffs.
Yeah, it's been good to be able to ride along some people like NFHS Network, who in most cases is the largest online streaming service of high school athletics in the country. So for us as a young company to be able to kind of hitch our wagons to them, alongside also people like the K-Lies and Wrestle One tournaments, for us it allows us to do more things, bring more content, reach more people, a broader audience. And that's kind of one of my aims and my goals as we do grow this thing. So NFHS, also TKDS Sports, the Ohio High School Athletic Association, they've allowed us to do some pretty big things to be able to grow our name, grow our business, grow ourselves as broadcasters, and really try and bring something different to the table. And that was the goal when this all started, just a little over 2 years ago, was that. It's not just about the football and the basketball, which seems to be the cash cow. I know we talk about it a lot, but, just what wrestling, what we were able to do with wrestling stuff last year with your in-the-room segments, with the live broadcasts from the different tournaments to the duels to districts. And got to give a shout-out to your people, Jamie. I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody does it better than Tom Oakes and those guys over there at North Canton Hoover. It's just a great setup. They take care of us, put us front and center. Our guy Tim Arnold delivered some food over to us. John Lowry spilled coffee everywhere, all over his white hoodie sweatshirt. It was just
that's a carryover from March. I mean, that's a given.
Well, you know what? North Canton has hosted tournaments for many years. It's second nature to them, and they have such a great facility for it. So it is always nice to go there. But most wrestling places that have tournaments, like Medina, like Top Gun, Brecksville, schools like that, they really pride themselves on how they show their school. They have up to 30 different schools in at a time, unlike a baseball game where one or two teams are there. You're representing your school, so they take a lot of pride in running those tournaments year after year. We're lucky at North Canton to have a district as well, so that's always nice to have a nice centrally located district for our people down here rather than going up to Menor or somewhere like that.
I'm curious, James, as we were waiting, I know TJ said today, this evening, they'll identify some of those neutral sites. Do you think Hoover might have put in for one this year? Or
for districts, I think we get it.
Well, I'm sorry, I meant for football, for the football.
I would imagine they would. We have a brand new stadium. I don't know.
Maybe we'll give a little Stark Media exclusive out there to anybody listening.
I don't know for sure.
I thought you might have a little inside scoop, baby. Come on.
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. I wouldn't see why we wouldn't. We have a brand new stadium.
That's why you got to kick it over here to the OG, man.
Yeah, he knows that kind of stuff.
So the word on the street is this is not official, but Lake and Massillon will be hosted at North Canton's Memorial Stadium this Friday night.
Are you
heard
serious?
it? Is this a Stark?
Wow.
Stark Media exclusive?
Stark Media exclusive.
Wow.
Dude.
So it's all but done. A lot of that stuff will become officially official by, let's say, 5 o'clock here this evening when the OHSAA releases all that. But there's so much that goes into that, Jim and Jamie. With hosting, being that third round, that neutral site. And a lot of people were pissed off last year because Lake and Massillon in that regional game ended up going all the way up to Parma-Byers Field.
Yeah.
Why are Lake and Massillon driving an hour away when you could line it up at a Glen Oak or a Hoover and all that? But here's the thing, and I'll reference back to what you talked about with the district wrestling tournament. And what we saw down there at the shot, it's saying there's so many volunteers that have to be able to be willing to give their weekend, give their time to be able to go out there and make something like that happen. And it's not the easiest thing to do for a school like North Canton or Glen Oak to say, hey, listen, we need people to come out here and run the concessions, handle parking, handle janitorial, custodial services, turning the lights on, operating the scoreboard. There's a lot that goes into that. Is the reward worth the benefit? How much money are you getting from the OHSAA? How much of the gate do you get to collect? Very little. Right? So
parking and concession is probably the lion's
That's
share.
it. You're right, James.
Where is the incentive for a North Canton or a Glen Oak to want to host that and have, I don't want to call it a headache, but it's not your football team that's playing, so you're dealing with other people, which can be a headache.
No, absolutely right, and that's why a lot of folks, step aside or don't want to step up, if you will. I don't understand why, the high school, maybe it's because schools continue to do it under the current platform, not that you want to have a boycott or a strike, but I think that maybe the superintendents or folks could step up, the ADs get together and say, hey, we love doing it, and yes, as Jamie said, right, parking concessions, that normally goes back to the school. But, that's a lot to put on a show like that.
It really is a lot, but it is also an opportunity to showcase your facilities and things like that. I mean, North Canton has a beautiful stadium. They just rebuilt it, redid the home side. The problem is a lot of people, their stadiums aren't big enough to host. Like, how many schools in Stark County can have Massillon and Lake play? I mean, there are a few of us, but I mean, Massillon brings a crowd. I've had in the past where North Canton has played Massillon and we've hosted because we were the home team. That was right around when you played, TJ.
Yep.
The Massillon people didn't think we were big enough to hold them. And obviously we could, but it's not easy for everybody to host a playoff game because you never know what kind of crowds are going to show up, especially with two hometown schools like Massillon and Uniontown Lake right in North Canton, which is right in the smack middle of the two of those.
Well, I'll tell you what, as always, too, right, the Federal League really showed up again. I mean, hats off to the Federal League football. I mean, you got Green, you got Lake, you got McKinley, pulled that off at the end. Thank you.
All still playing.
Lost that pick'em, all still playing. So
is that one slice of pepperoni my way for that one?
Yeah, you get one round pepperoni.
I'm going to get a sliver of salami for that one, man.
Absolutely.
You really think about, Jim, you got a chance, as Jamie mentioned, the new facility over there. You've got the beautiful new grandstands. You were able to give the first broadcast over there when they welcomed in Buchtel in week 1. You're right. It is a way to showcase your facility. The one X factor around here, though, too, is you can't use Tom Benson, because they want to keep that exclusively for those state games. And you think about going to a bigger facility like an InfoCision Stadium where they hosted Hoban and Massillon just a few years back. They had it last year there. They had it about 3 years ago. I think it was 2019. That was the year that the Tigers were able to beat Hoban. They would fall in the state title game. But you go to a facility like that, and it's like, what's it cost just to turn those lights on at a place like InfoCision Stadium? You're trying to get enough people in the stands. It's a college venue. That was one of my biggest gripes about having the state championship games for football down at the Horseshoe, because the Horseshoe isn't cool unless there's 100,000 people plus in there. And when you've only got 15 or 20,000, it just echoes. It's just
You're definitely right about that. Well, you know what? Like, to stay on the same topic, but to swing into wrestling a little bit, you look at an experience like we're at right now. Obviously it's Cleveland State against Iowa State in a neutral setting, but realistically it's where one of the wrestlers went to high school at Massillon Perry, like you said, David Carr. Now that is becoming a little more popular, where one of the seniors or one of the returning captains gets to go to his high school and they put on a show just like this, which is all the same thing. It's all the same that we just discussed. How much are they making? How much are they get to take away? Well, in a sport like wrestling, it's not about the money that you bring in. It's about the people you bring in and show your program, and they get to see the amount of national champions and All-Americans that have come through Massillon Perry, and it's like that all over the state. I remember it was a few years back when Nick Heflin wrestled for Ohio State. They had a duel here.
Yep.
So it is a pretty neat experience, and I'm glad that they're giving this opportunity. One of the things that people talk about is where the different states line up in wrestling in comparison to the others. Always you hear about Pennsylvania being the number one, and rightfully so. They do traditionally crank out the best kids. But when you look at it, Pennsylvania has a lot more wrestling opportunity at the next level than most other states do.
Right.
So it is a good opportunity for these colleges to come to these high schools and put on a neat little show, and it helps build our sport in a really good way.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's very much neat. I was talking to Dave Talarczyk, former head coach over there at Canal Fulton Northwest, over to Jackson. He went back to Canal Fulton. He's working at the middle school level.
Yeah.
He was telling me, they're trying to work on their recruiting route, right, because season will start, I believe it's November 17th, 16th, somewhere around there will officially begin. But he said, Jimmy, he goes, I got 4 middle school kids right now signed up. So, you're right, James. These are very important. And I'll be honest with you, thinking through some of it locally, really the only two I can remember really kind of doing this kind of a show has been Perry with the Nick Heflin year that they came in with Ohio State, and of course this year with this. So that's something maybe some of our other schools, athletic directors would like to consider. Some of our high school coaches, if you're out there listening, think about this. It doesn't have to be Division I. I mean, there's some great D2, D3 schools that would love to come.
Absolutely.
And let's be honest, right? I mean, how many of our kids, the hundreds of kids that come through, really end up in a Division I setting? I mean, Baldwin Wallace. I mean, my goodness, you got the Decatur boys up there that have done outstanding. Bring Baldwin Wallace in. Get some of these Ohio Northern. Talked to Coach Beechler yesterday. What a great guy, great program over there at Ohio Northern over
Think
in
about
Ada, Ohio.
how amazing that duel would be at CVCA.
Absolutely.
With the Decatur boys rolling in, with their college wrestling team. It would be amazing.
Well, and again, right? I mean, it's what those younger kids, when they were in middle school and high school, they were looking up at those, at the Decatur boys winning state championships, and I want to be like them. And now they come back to your room as college athletes, right, and get the chance to promote and show the next level. And, boy, hey, maybe something we got to promote there in the combat division there, CEO. What do you think? Talk to some of these guys, and let's work with some of these D2, D3 schools.
I like it. And, Jamie, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, when we sat there at Case Western Reserve during those regional quarterfinals for the NCAA, there were some absolute studs. How about that heavyweight from Wabash?
Oh, yeah.
We talked about it yesterday.
Yep. A freak.
Yeah. You can see a D1 athlete when he walks in. Whatever reason put him at that school, but I mean, when they're the real deal at those levels. That's what's fun about this time of year is you see like the Mount Union Open or the Michigan State Open that is a traditional college open tournament. You see some real hammers come in, but also you see guys from like Baldwin Wallace wrestling against, maybe not the starter from Ohio State, but, they get a really good level of competition, and it's just so much fun to see all different mix of kids competing at high level.
Jamie, I got to drop a couple nuggets for you here because based off of two things that you just said there. First, Jim, I'll throw this one to you. Well, I'll give you the first nugget first. Got a chance to see our guy down there, returning state champion, heavyweight here, Aiden Faulkner.
Oh, yeah.
Gave him the little tap on the shoulder, said everything good. He said he's solid, said he's had some great recovery, feels good, Central Michigan recruit. And then, obviously, you mentioned Mount Union. How about in the room, your boy Clay Wenger? He's going to be the new women's coach out there. That's
new
pretty
women's
cool.
coach down at Mount Union as that program's going to get off the ground and start. It was great to see Coach Riggs down there, Coach Ryan Riggs. Dave came in the room, of course, said hello to Dave. It's great to see Dave and everybody. But, the whole event was a nice event. And they basically had, I think Gannon University ended up winning that. They had, I think it was 8 or 9 teams. I'll tell you what, though, James, what really shocked me, and you probably, knew this as you went through in your many, many years in the sport, that weekend, yesterday and today, this is the start of the college season. And you figure that college season doesn't end with the NCAAs, which is a week or two after our high school state championships. You talk about long seasons and a beating on your body. My goodness gracious.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's taken our sport to the next level. It's not so much like our eras, which are two different ones. You're a little older. We'll make sure we get that out.
Tom, he's talking
Tom
about
knows
us.
It's two different generations between me and him. But what today's athlete, the way they take care of their bodies, the physical trainers are way next level compared to what I had in college. And people, they really do. It started their nutrition was just starting to become a big thing when I was a college athlete. I mean, I know you can't tell to look at me, but the nutrition that the things that they're putting into the
chili,
looking like a pot of chili over there.
You got that cooking, baby.
Right on, sweet and spicy. These kids are paying a little more attention to what they're putting into their bodies, and I think that they're able to handle that longevity a little bit better. Now, freak accidents and injuries happen in all sports, but these guys put themselves through the ringer every day in practice, so their bodies are a little more pliable and things like that than most people. One of the reasons why TJ doesn't think he could have been a wrestler.
I was not pliable.
Now, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you're joining TJ Downing, Jamie Fausnight, and Jimmy B right here in the gymnasium of Perry High School as we're just moments away from the start of the Iowa State Cyclones versus the Cleveland State Vikings. And the announcement made there, I think we're going to have our teams coming out here very shortly. And we do have lineups that Tej was able to secure for us. So Jamie and I and Tej will do the best we can as far as what we believe will be our starting lineups. I see Cleveland State across the way, looking very dapper in their – is that dark green, James, or is that black tops?
Looks black. Looks black, but it looks good. They look sharp over there. I will tell you this, TJ, there is quite a bit less gamesmanship in college wrestling as there is in the high school, where they'll forfeit and put another guy out or weigh two guys in and all that stuff. These guys know who's wrestling right now.
Yeah,
everybody knows who's wrestling. There's not going to be a surprise where one guy comes out and, you know, a last-minute decision in the chair and the coin toss and all that stuff. It is a little more, you know, they put their group together and they're willing to throw them out and see what happens.
Well, we've already had our national anthem. That was prior to our two. We did have two, you know, I guess you would call them. They call them JVs. What do they call that, James?
They just said preliminary.
Preliminaries. So we had a couple preliminary matches. Both of those won by the Iowa State wrestlers. I'll tell you what, looking down through the lineups here a little bit, I mean, Cleveland State, a very, very young team. You know, as you look through, you know, I only see maybe one or two seniors, maybe only one senior in their lineup. And actually, one of your alumni there, brother.
Yeah, Ben Smith. I'll tell you, when he moved into North Canton, him and his brother Dylan both, you know, came in, and they were both. Dylan had not wrestled for a while, but he was a football player, and Dylan ended up coming out for the wrestling team with Ben. And I gotta tell you, you know, they're younger guys. I'm in my mid-40s, but I'd still roll around with guys. And I'll tell you this, Ben Smith or Dylan Smith, one time I was like, you know what, I'm good. I'm done wrestling heavyweights. I'm out of this. They're two of the strongest high school kids that I've ever latched onto. And I mean, and Ben was an incredible athlete. Both were great football players. Ben ended up a state placer at North Canton in the state semifinals and wrestled. Had a great career for us. And I'll tell you right now, both of them, super nice kids.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I mean, one of our, football broadcast team members, Big Daddy Rod Strata out there, of course, a Perry graduate, and he was a Perry Hall of Fame. You know, he tells the story, and he may be joining us throughout the combat sports there. He showed a little interest there as he said that his senior year, he was walking through the hall, and he just happened to be locked eyes with the wrestling coach, right? And the coach says, hey, Rod, I need a heavyweight. You know, I need you to come out. And Rod's like, oh, okay. And, you know, man of his word, he was there. And I'll tell you what, got down to districts, and he's got some great stories. I'll tell you, he told me about his very first pin, you know, and it's like back when he was wrestling your brother, right? He was on top, he said, and he pushed both shoulders down. I said, you give him a noogie? He said, nah, I just pushed him down and took care of business. I said, but he'll tell you, and TJ, I know you and I talk a lot about this, as our football players are considering what to do if they haven't already going to wrestle or if they're not going to play basketball. You know what? The weight room's a good thing, but I'm telling you, and Ron will attest, I think you attest to it too, how much this sport will make you a better football player.
It will. I can tell you firsthand that from defensive tackles and nose guards that I played against, the guys that were AAU wrestlers, were high school wrestlers, were at the top of their game, were the guys that gave me the biggest fits because they knew leverage. They knew how to play with their hands. They had that inside grappling type technique, which, Jamie, when you're doing a pass protection or you're doing run blocking, it's hand fits, it's hand combatives. And you get to that point and you're going against a guy who's done that for 4 or 5 years at a high level, they can give you some problems. I remember a guy by the name of Dexter Larimore. He wore 72 after I did at Ohio State, was an all Big Ten defensive lineman, came out of, I believe it was Marysville, Indiana, was the AAU national champ heavyweight. And so he comes in there instantly as I'm at the top of my game, playing the best college football, playing the best football of my life. He comes in as a freshman, and he's pushing me a little bit in training camp. I'm thinking, okay, I got to watch out for this guy here, man. And all of a sudden you find out he was a wrestler, and I was like, okay, I see why.
They're also going to have a different motor.
Yes,
They're also going to have a different motor. A wrestler, a kid who grew up wrestling his entire life is not going to get rattled by one play of a football.
It's going to be really hard to wear that guy down.
He's not going to get rattled after one bad play on a football field. You're in it for the long haul with that dude.
Yeah.
He's going to come back and get back in your face and make it as ugly as he can, you know?
It's like if you were lining up getting ready to play Army in football. You think those guys from Army are ever going to quit by the middle of the fourth quarter?
I don't think
No.
so.
So it's like you said, you got to be strapped in, ready for the long haul. And I think this is great here. What's going on inside? I feel that Sunday things, you just kind of worry what kind of crowds you're going to get out. People got a lot of other things going on. Obviously, day of Sabbath. On top of that, day of the Browns. Unfortunately, I don't know why you'd want to watch that. I'd rather come out here and see this. And
I heard Deshaun Watson might play.
Yeah, there you go.
It's recording at home, so no updates.
Oh, okay. I'm all right.
Hey, I got to tell you guys this, man. This, I'm sure you guys will probably appreciate and respect this a little bit. But coming from a football guy, I actually have been waiting for the winter to come up.
What?
He's mentioned it to me.
I love football. I love football. I love the playoffs. It's great.
Right.
But I've actually, all throughout the summer, I'm like, you know what? I can't wait to get past football and just get back out with the guys at the tournaments.
He drank the Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah, I got a little sip
Kool-Aid.
last year. I enjoyed it, man. The atmospheres are great. And again, the guy that I locked eyes with was Milkovich, and all of a sudden when he had me running steps and running around the entire Glen Oak High School on 44th Street, by about 3 days later, I said, I think I'm just going to stick to the weight room. But I think the atmospheres that we got a chance to be a part of last year, and again, the state tournament is its own separate monster, but trickle down to districts at Hoover, and there's our guy right there, Aiden Faulkner. We were just talking about him.
There he is.
It's really, to me, I haven't seen a recreation of atmospheres like that. How about over there with what the OAC does? When we went into Glen Oak High School, there's 4,000 people in there on the weekend for a youth tournament. I'm like, wow, this is big.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you are joining TJ Downing, Jamie Fausnight, and Jimmy B at Perry High School, as today we are doing a live broadcast of the Cleveland State Vikings bringing over and hosting the Iowa State Cyclones. They're about ready to give our starting lineups, and even though we're not in the football season, Jamie, I'm going to give you the lineup here for Iowa State, and we're going to thank Lindsay's Pizza, because Lindsay's Pizza, I'll tell you what, if you haven't had a pie yet, you got time yet tonight, you have a pie tonight, give Lindsay's Pizza a call. We're going to use Lindsay's Pizza for our starting lineup. Jamie, what do you see today, possible starters for the Iowa State Cyclones?
Now, obviously, in a wrestling match, it's always a little subject to change, but at 125, we're looking at Keeson Turkina and Ethan Perryman. At 135 or at 133, we're looking at Evan Frost. 141, Jacob Frost. And it's marked together. I don't know if maybe they weighed in at the same weight class. Then you have Anthony Etchmandala, Jason Kreischer at 157. 165, we got David Carr, the man that we're here to see.
That's right.
And then at 174, MJ Gayton. 184. At 184, we have Caleb Helgason. And then 190.
Hell yes.
Yeah. And then at 197, we have Julian Borderson. And at 285, wrapping things up, we have Younger Bastida.
All right, and if you flip that real quick there, coaches for the Iowa State Cyclones.
Yeah, we have Kevin Drescher, started in 2017. At 2023, they placed it 11th in the NCAA, so that's very respectable. And it's also a program that's climbing.
Yes.
Assistants, he's got Derek St. John, Brett Metcalf.
We know that name.
Yeah, people may have heard of him. I've actually coached against him. It was a pretty short one, but
It's okay.
He was a bad dude. And then they have Fernando Valascusa.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, now let's go over to the Cleveland State Vikings. They continue going down the lineup, giving those starters. At 125, we're going to have a redshirt freshman, Ben Aranada, or possibly Nick Molchak. So they got two guys there. We'll see who steps onto the mat. At 133, we're going to see a redshirted sophomore, Jake Manley. At 141, a freshman, Dayton Layton, or it could be Connor Saylor. And interesting as we're looking for a little background there, Connor not in the lineup online, so it'll be interesting to see who steps on the mat at 141. At 149 pounds, we're going to have a redshirted freshman. That'll be Douglas Terry. At 157 pounds, many of you that have been around Ohio have heard this name before, redshirted freshman Shane Heil. At 165 pounds, the redshirted sophomore Daniel Patton, or it could be freshman Tate Kaiser. Boy, and here's a name right from this area, guys, at 174 pounds for the Vikings. Got two names here, but I think we're going to see the freshman right out of Glen Oak High School, Ronald Dimmerling.
boy.
So Dimmerling, a freshman there, or possibly Gavin Ricketts. So again, we'll see what coach decides to put on the mat there at 174. At 184 pounds, we're going to see a red-shirted freshman, Joey Lyons. And again, we talked a little bit about this young man earlier out of North Canton Hoover at 197 pounds, a red-shirted senior, only senior in the lineup for the Vikings, Ben Smith. And rounding out the starting 10, the red-shirted sophomore at 285 pounds, Daniel Bakanovich. So the Vikings, of course, are coached by Coach Josh Moore. He's entering his 6th year. Last year had 7 NCAA qualifiers and placed 7th last year in the MAC tournament. He's assisted by Fred Garcia. Fred is a 2-year veteran there for the Vikings. He recently had coached 5 years over at Binghamton University. Actually wrestled at Lock Haven, was a 3-time national qualifier, comes out of Pennsylvania area. Jamie talked a bit about Pennsylvania and just the power that they are over there. Even though Ohio, we're not too far behind, are we, Jamie?
No.
And
but respect goes to where respect is due.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And rounding out the coaching staff for Coach Moore, I tell you what, if you've been around Ohio wrestling, you know this name, Dominic Abinator, as he enters his 2nd year. Dominic, of course, a 4-time NCAA qualifier, wrestled for Michigan, and won't hold that against him, but wrestled, of course, at Lakewood St. Edwards. All right, here we go. We're ready for the very first match. Again, we are sorry we can't bring you the live video feed. We are unable to do that, so this is going to be kind of a radio broadcast for you. Looks like we might be starting at 174. Is that correct, James?
Yeah, we have Ronnie Dimmerling and MJ Gayton.
All right, well, the whistle blows. 3 minutes, that first period, a little bit different than our high school at 2 minutes. College, of course, though, have the 3 minute, and, of course, the other big difference in college here, of course, is they have the writing time where we do not have that in high school.
Yeah, scoring is a little different right there. His first example, that was the first takedown of the duel. Nice little pass elbow to a high crotch and got the 3-point takedown. Dimmerling in on an inside single right now. About to go. It's close.
Nice job. Good scramble by the young man from Iowa State as he reversed it 2 and picks up 2 right on the line. Feet were in. And, boy, right now, 6-1 our score. Iowa State in the lead.
And that's just it. You know, you got a seasoned college wrestler and a young guy wrestling here. It just the scrambles and the flurries, they just don't stop. They're constant, and that's where, you know, the guys that are a little more elite, they chain wrestle to a different level.
Absolutely. Well, again, Ron Dimmerling is at 174 for the Vikings, as we said, came out of Glen Oak High School in Canton. He placed 3rd at the Ohio State Championships last year, was a 2-time state placer for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, and Gayton here, he's the real deal. He's a high school, a 2022 California State champ, Super 32 champion. He was junior Greco champion in 2001, and he was a 2020 Pan Am silver medalist. So, you know, that is as good as it gets. That's quite a resume.
Major credentials. And the takedown again by the young man from Iowa State as he leads 9-2, has 8 up there, but I don't think we have 8, James. I think that might be, 9-2 maybe?
Yeah.
Again, MJ Gatton on top. He's got a little riding time here as the riding clock up above. He's working that through at 30 seconds, doing a nice job. Dimmerling trying to get those hands underneath. Got a foot on the mat. He's going to try to come up a little bit. And again, boy, nice job. We're going to get some back points here, James.
Yeah, and it's funny. In college, things are they're almost more simplified. He just had a 2-on-1, stretched him out, got a quick 2 count. Actually got a 4. He got 3 near fall there. So he got a 3 count.
All right, 12-2 is our match score, and Dimmerling is still in the referee's position. Those of you out there at referee's position, one wrestler is down. He's on all fours, has to have those hands in front behind the line, just like in high school and youth. On top, Gayton will take his position, but of course has to wait till the official gives a signal. And he mounts on top. And Dimmerling right up 2 feet on the mat, trying to get some good stability there and get his hips underneath him as Gayton, again, he's tough on top, isn't he, James?
Yeah, he just crossed over the 1 minute of riding time. So to give a quick explanation on riding time, in order, you know, realistically, it's when one guy's up, when they're on the mat in referee's position. It's a continuous clock. It either goes towards the red or it goes towards the green. And the goal is to have over a minute of riding time over your opponent come the finalization of the match. And then at that point, they'll award one more point to the guy who earned the riding time. So as of right now, if the match ended this second, Gayton would have an additional point.
All right, still 12-3 our score. Looking at 22 seconds here remaining in the first period. Again, remembering 3 minutes is the first period here. Oh, and nice outside leg shot there and cuts back across the other way. 3-point takedown at Gayton.
Yeah, that's how you finish a period right there. You want to score points at the end of each period. That's a good way to you always want to go a little harder at the end of the period. You try to win the period, even if it's not by points, even if it's just momentum.
Well, buzzer sounds. That'll be the end of the first period there. Our score, Mr. Gayton from Iowa State up 15-3 over our hometown gentleman, Mr. Dimmerling, Ron Dimmerling out of Glen Oak High School.
Yeah, I worked with Ronnie quite a bit while he was a little guy. You know, he came up through my dungeon practices every Tuesday, and I have no doubt that if he stays in a room like that long enough, he'll definitely be a guy that you can count on in your lineup.
Absolutely, just an absolute hard worker. Loved watching him come through the high school ranks. As a freshman, and the total body change, right, that we saw from him between, which we see in many athletes, but from his freshman to his senior year. And again, two-time state placer, his highest placement, of course, third last year at the Ohio State Championships. Gayton on the whistle, boy, nice little sit-out, cuts across. No points awarded as of yet. Breaks free, open. He's got his one. They're on their feet. Gave it to the wrong way.
They did.
Should be 16-3 is our score. They are on the feet. Got a nice underhook on the left-hand side. Nice pressure.
Yeah. Now there's the chain wrestling right there. That's the fun thing about college is a lot of times your first shot is not it's not the shot you're going to score on. Your shot is a setup for your actual shot.
And that setup, absolutely, that setup takes the takedown gives a final score of 19-3. That'll be a technical fall and a 5-point victory for the Iowa State Cyclones. They take the first match at 174 pounds. Again, you're joining Jamie Fausnight and Jimmy B and TJ Downing, who I think he's out. What do you think, Jamie? He's out carousing the crowd out there a little bit?
He's out there taking some photos.
There you go.
He's always working.
That's absolutely. Again, joining us on Stark Media's live broadcast of college wrestling. Cleveland State Vikings and the Iowa State Cyclones getting ready for our second match here. Again, we apologize. We don't have the video feed for you. We were unable to provide that, so Jamie and I decided, hey, let's just do it radio-wise.
Heck yeah, we're here. I actually spoke to some people that were hoping that they would have it on air because they were driving, and they just wanted to listen to it anyway. So right. That works out.
Absolutely. Glad to help out. Well, again, none of this happens without all of our great sponsors. We have some great sponsors throughout our football season. Again, I hope they're going to carry through to our combat season. Of course, C.H. Valos right here in the Canton area, C.H. Valos and Associates. If you're looking for any insurance or financial needs, look them up on the web and check out C.H. Valos and Associates. Looking for a car? Go no further than the GMC Toth Buick up there on Arlington Road. Josh does a great job. I know that he's got a lineup there and cars to help you out and get you all suited up. Tell you what, James, I went up there. We actually did one of our Wednesday shows there. They've got this Harley Davidson model GMC truck, right?
Those are ridiculous.
So I texted Margaret. I said, listen, I could get my truck and a Harley all in one shot. Yeah, guess what? There was no response. I don't know why.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, we're getting ready for the 184-pound match. James, who are we going to see for the Cyclones?
We have Caleb Helgeson, and he's a high school state champ. I think he might be a freshman here. A freshman here he's a state champ out of Iowa. So let's see what happens. Who do we have here for Cleveland State?
All right, for Cleveland State, we're going to bring out a redshirt freshman right out of Worcester, Ohio. He wrestled for Worcester High School, Joey Lyons. So Lyons out there representing the Buckeye State. He wrestled last year in college. Of course, having that red shirt tag put on him. He's a two-time high school state qualifier and had 124 career victories in his high school season. So
very respectable.
And right off the bat, the Cyclone wrestler in on, and he gets the takedown. And it's 3-0, 2 minutes, 30 seconds into the first period.
Yeah, Helgeson just seemed to outwork him there. in on that shot. His feet were moving a little bit more.
Lyons goes down on the referee's position. Helgason on top. Whistle blows. And again, I like it with the Cleveland State. Boy, they're right up in that tripod position, trying to get the hips under him. But this Cyclone team really rides well. Boy, coming underneath a little bit with a claw ride there, up underneath that armpit around the other side of the trap, trying to bring him back into a near fall position. But
we're going to see that again. He hit that claw from one side and changed over to it. It was tight as all get out. We'll have to see that. I'm sure we'll see that again. There he is riding that claw again. Oh, then he went over to a cross wrist.
Helgason on top now again, as James said, riding that wrist, kind of bring it back. Again, Lyons doing a nice job trying to get to that tripod back up, kind of get those hips under him, but nice pressure, keeping that pressure real nice up on those shoulders and keeping that head down. Wrestlers go out of bounds. They'll go back to the middle, get realigned.
Well, I guess I just figured out why, how you can tell who the home team is.
How's that?
Look at the mat. There is a Cleveland State wrestling mat in the middle of the gym that we must not have caught until just now. And I thought about it because a second ago they were riding that out of bounds line, and it is a little different in college than it is in high school. They have to have is a body part above that line. There's a cylinder that goes up, so it doesn't even have to be like drag your toe like a wide receiver in the NFL. It just has to be floating in bounds, and the clock continues to run. That's when I kind of scoped out the size of the mat, which is, the size of the mat is why they struggle to make that change in high school. They don't think all the high school teams would have to get new mats. Nice little armbar tilt right there by Helgason.
Yeah, Helgason had a nice single leg there as he got the takedown, and again right into an armbar, tilt up, and just like that, I don't see the back points put on. They should be. I think you got at least two out of that.
Yeah, I don't think they awarded him any there. That's kind of surprising.
Scoreboard is not saying that he got the back points on that, so 6-1 is our match score. Lyons doing a nice job fighting that off. Boy, I'll tell you what, that was tight.
Closing in on 1:25 of riding time is Helgason.
Under a minute here to go in the first period. Again, Joey Lyons out of Worcester, Ohio, wrestling Caleb Helgason out of Johnston, Iowa. He went to high school at Johnston High School, and in Iowa was a state champion.
And that's another one. You win a state title in Iowa, you win a state title in Ohio, PA. You're ready to start college wrestling, whether you're ready to impact college
compete
wrestling
or
two
so
different
forth.
things.
Right.
Not everybody is like David Carr, who walked right out there and won a national title. Like Brett Metcalf, who's on that coaching staff, went right out and won a national title.
Absolutely. 16 seconds remaining here in the first period as it's winding down. 6-1 is our match score. Again, or bout score. Again, that's Helgason with the lead at this point. Lyons just cannot get up. Great pressure up on top, riding that claw again. Got that hand deep inside the crotch, and Lyons not going to go anywhere. End of the period.
Lyons is doing a good job of keeping his belly off the mat. He's getting to that quad pod, but he's like almost playing right into Helgason's strengths with that claw ride, and that seems to be his little happy zone. So he needs a knee slide there and get to his feet and try to get one.
All right. Well, choice I think went over. I thought to Cleveland State. I thought he took neutral, but Lyons did go down. Helgason went into a neutral position, just kicked him out there, both on his feet. Lyons with a nice shot on the outside, low single. Helgason quickly
well defended,
breaks free. And again, two freshmen here, redshirt freshman, true freshman. Helgason in on the single leg again. And again, backs out both on their feet. Good
nice
motion.
Little elbow pass. He saw it coming.
Absolutely. Set him up there with that. They're right on the edge of the mat there. Helgason low on the single leg. Lyons draping over the top, trying to keep him from scoring on this. Comes up underneath. Now we'll see if he steps up and cuts through. Helgason again, pretty good position. Lyons trying to defend on that far back ankle. Both again, Jamie talked about it, in bounds. We have two toes in bounds, but they're still wrestling live.
And they still have a foot to go. I think he needs to, in order to get a takedown there, I think he needed to get to a Merkel or some kind of a position like that. That just was a tough one. They're discussing it. The refs discussed it. No takedown.
I'll tell you what, great scramble by both guys. I mean, again, Helgason set that single leg up, and Lyons fought it off nicely. Did not let the Iowa State wrestler score.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine, brother.
TJ,
go.
I noticed that there's bricks on the edge of the mat, but I don't see one on our table.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to dig that one out of the treasure chest from last year.
That's another thing that's different about college wrestling is you can suggest a replay, and by the coaches throw the little brick out. They I believe they get one per duel. Don't quote me on that. I might not be positive about that, but they if they're correct, then they get to keep their brick, and if they're wrong, then they lose it. So it is strategic, and you have to be careful when you throw it.
Lions with a little bit of a shot there. Nice little snap down move by Helgason as he quickly gets into the single leg, has the leg up in the air. Lions doing a nice job, foot sweep, and down he goes. 3-point takedown. Cyclones 9-2 our bout score as we work our way to the end of the second period.
Helgason just pressures forward like crazy. There's not a lot of flash to him. He just takes nice little high crotch shots, head outside. Sometimes he knee pulls into a single leg, but other times he kind of finishes that high crotch. But he's got a nice little offense.
Third period about to get underway. Helgason for the Cyclones. He's going to go down in the referee's position. He'll get himself set. The official telling Lions, hold on, not to mount until you have a set wrestler. Does. Lions on top. Whistle blows. Here we go. Third period underway. Again, Helgason on top, 9-2. And again, Helgason right up into that tripod, as Jamie said. This time, though, he got his hips up with him a little bit. He's on his feet. He's working the hands of Lions. Lions trying to hang on to that single leg. Helgason working. Good balance there as the leg goes clear up to the shoulder, and Lions says, not, let's restart. They go out of bounds.
And Lions has his work cut out to get the riding time down. Helgason's got 2 minutes and 13 seconds on him, so he can get that down to below a minute. But he needs to score some points. Down 9-2 at this point.
Got to give our guy Max Baker a little shout out over there at the scorer's table. As I was walking in with him here today before we got set up, he said, "Man, I'm going to have my hands full today. You've got obviously 3 points now. It was new this year, and then he said he's worried about the riding time. It's just." Jim, a
little bit different.
Jim, especially from some different things that we've covered before, going from the high school level to the collegiate level, it's so much faster. There's so much more you have to have your eyes on. You can miss something because these athletes are just so fine-tuned. They're so much quicker than a 16, 17-year-old kid.
No, absolutely. You guys, we always talk about that. Jamie and I, a lot of our coaching, of course, at the youth and high school level. Jamie, of course, wrestled at the college level. He's seen that. You played all the way through in your life. I didn't have the college experience, but you always heard about that next level, how, quicker, faster, the athlete.
The speed of it all.
It's the whole speed of the game, and it was so obvious. You gave me the opportunity, which I'm very gracious to call and do a play-by-play with Walsh College football. Oh, my, was that different.
Yeah, with college, one of the big, I break it down in a couple of different ways, the differences between high school and college. Number one, the scoring. In high school wrestling, it's about establishing control, whereas college wrestling, it's a lot more about position of control. He gets him to his hip just for a second, they'll award that takedown here. A nice little scramble. Made me eat my words there.
No.
But if he gets that back shoe in this scenario, if he gets his shoe, they're going to call two. But he's still above the knee, so it's not a takedown yet. Whereas in high school, that's not even close to a takedown yet because he hasn't established the control.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, if we have any young wrestlers out there or coaches out there, and again, Jamie mentioned it again, keeping it simple. Guys, I want to tell you what, I know we can't, show you the live feed here again. We apologize for that. We were under some video rights we were not allowed to, quote-unquote, infringe upon. So, again, bringing you this radio broadcast. But for you young wrestlers out there, what we're watching in these first two matches, we see a lot of single legs.
Absolutely.
On the bottom, you're just coming up with a stand-up. I mean, there's not all these, a lot of the young kids, right, Jane, we get in the room and right away, show me a throw, give me the fireman's carry, show me the, the Merkel or whatever.
Let's do the cool stuff.
Let's do the cool stuff. Man, I'm telling you,
Snow day moves.
Win with fundamentals, man. Solid fundamentals. Well, the buzzer has sound, and that will do it at the end of our 184-pound match. It'll go to Iowa State. And that decision, 3 points for the Iowa State team. That was a major decision. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Let Jamie go over that little scoring differential. She understands as we give that name and what the points are. Right now, it's Iowa State 9 and Cleveland State 0.
Yeah, so for a regular win, meaning you win by 7 points or more, it's just a decision victory. So you get 3 points awarded for your team. Now, if you win by more than 8, they refer to that as a major decision, which earns your team an additional team point, so you get 4. Now, if you get a technical fall, meaning the match ends by you being leading by 15 points, At that point, then it's 5 points for the team score, and then the ultimate victory is to pin the fall. You get both shoulders to the mat.
That's right,
and
baby.
you award your team 16 points. So that's essentially to the rules of wrestling. The what you're trying to get done to dominate your opponent is to pin his shoulders to the back. Now in other grappling sports like jiu-jitsu and things of that nature, it's different. That's what separates wrestlers a little bit, because jiu-jitsu, their job is to get to their back and not let somebody have their back. Wrestlers tend to be very comfortable with guys on their back and with them behind them, so they get away a little better than those other guys.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, Jamie and I playing the Captain Obvious move, as he shared with you about the Cleveland State wrestling mat. Again, we started, as you know, at 174 pounds. The reason they did that is because usually that last match they kind of want to highlight sometimes, right? And you don't have to always go in match order. That holds true, of course, we know in high school. The reason why they did what they did, Jamie, who's our last wrestler going to be tonight at 165 pounds?
That's when we'll see David Carr.
There you go.
That's the show here.
That's the showstopper,
we have a hometown kid right here. This is Ben Smith from North Canton Hoover wrestling for Cleveland State against Julian Broderson from Davenport, Iowa. He was 2023 eighth at the Big 12. So this should be a fairly even matchup. Ben Smith is strong as a bull. And
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, he's a national qualifier. He's done well. He's a fifth-year senior. So I know a fifth-year senior Ben Smith is not going to get out-muscled by anybody. But I'll tell you this, muscle isn't everything in wrestling. Obviously, there's a lot of technical pieces that go, and like you were saying, the simple things that we were kind of mentioning, it's the hand fighting, it's the footwork, it's the position. You're trying to create angles, you're trying to get your opponent to be where you want him to be. He's not always just going to put his foot right there where you want to attack it. You have to set it up and get him to be into the position you're looking for.
Well, as the match started out, we are a minute underway in the first period. Smith was in on a nice single leg, but again defended well by the senior. Again, two seniors here that we are dealing with. We have Broderson,
nice
senior, and of course the red shirt senior Ben Smith. Smith again in on the single leg, nice down low on the ankle there, right on the edge of the mat.
Come up with it.
And
Nice.
he does through. Can he
There's
cover
two.
through? And then we have 2-point takedown. Vikings. Ben Smith with the takedown. Nice job.
That's where I throw a brick. That's where I throw a brick. As soon as someone touches the gym floor, action stops, and both of his hands were down. Ben Smith he's in a crab ride position. Didn't look like he kind of lost a little bit of position there, but he wrestled through it.
1 minute, 35 seconds remaining here in the first period. It's 3-0. Smith on top, the North Canton native. And again, as Jamie said, been a two-time national qualifier, was a 2022 MAC champion. And, of course, Jamie knows all about his background in high school. Placed fourth at the high school state tournament as a senior. Finished up with a 53-3 record. And did a nice job. The other thing, too, some of you young wrestlers out there, spring season, he wrestled for the Team Ohio with our freestyle and Greco team out in Fargo, North Dakota.
He's in trouble here. All we have to do is hook that back foot, and Ben might give up the takedown there because he's in on a head outside single. Oh, they're going to go stalemate there.
Broderson had the escape, made the match 3-1 in there on the single leg. Now, the stalemate, for those of you not sure, that stalemate, basically the movement, the action was not advancing. The official felt it was time to give these guys a fresh start. Both go back on their feet, and right away Smith is in on the single leg. But again, he's got to hang on there. He's got to get those hips underneath him. Great defense by Broderson.
Well defended at that point. I know Ben is real high on the elbow block to the high crotch. He's shot nothing but single legs here. God, that single leg cost him.
Yeah, well, he was a little bit too far away. The hips were back a little bit and just spun around for the 2-point takedown. Did Broderson. Match score 4-3 Iowa State. Picks Smith up off the mat, returns him. Smith doing a nice job getting that outside leg up onto the mat. And again, Iowa State going into that crab ride, James. I'm sure that's something that, they're working quite a bit with Coach Dresser in the practice room.
10 seconds to go here in this first period. Oh, Smith is close to. Oh, I don't like that body position.
That's
Those
they're
two
kinda,
knees that are ugly right there.
yeah, twisted up a little bit, and the official's going to stop there. Hand going behind the neck. What that tells us is potentially dangerous. He, again, it doesn't matter what sport, what level. Safety is always number one for our athletes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, in wrestling, you watch enough wrestling, you see those body positions coming.
All right, Smith going back down into the referee's position. 1 second left, and whistle blow. Buzzer will sound. That'll do it. First period is in the books after one. It's 4-3 Broderson from Iowa State.
Jamie, Ben wasn't the inspiration on the tattoo, was he?
No.
Who was the young man that you took down there?
Well, it was just a photo of a kid that came up through my program.
Okay.
Hold on. The name escapes my head right now. It's tattooed on my arm. I'll get it here in a second. Zach LaRue. Zach LaRue was a freshman from Manchester who practiced and wrestled for me in the youth, and they took a picture of him walking into the arena for the first time after weigh-ins. That moment where the kid walks into the stadium or into the arena for the first time, and it was just a silhouette of him with his headphones on, getting ready to wrestle his freshman year at the state tournament, and then that was the shot that I thought would represent wrestling that I would get a tattoo.
The shot at the shot.
That's right.
I love it, brother. I love it. Well, of course, Smith was down as we started the second period in referee's position. Not sure who made choice there, but Smith is out on his feet. Both wrestlers in neutral position, working for the takedown. And again, the Iowa State wrestler put on a little bit more physical prowess here. Ooh, Smith trying to do the little single leg there, way far away, and nice come around by Broderson.
That was the thumb block high crotch I was talking about. I've seen Iowa State counter that pretty well today. It's not the first time I've seen that shot. Cleveland State guys hitting it, and they are a little too far away, it seems.
3-point takedown takes the mat about score to 7-4. Wrestlers on the edge of the mat. I think they're going to go out of bounds. They do. Smith is down 7-4, and he'll go down in the referee's position.
51 seconds to go here in the second period. 7-4.
Whistle blows, and Smith a little bit slow coming up, though. Explodes, gets those hips out, makes a cut there and breaks free. 1 point escape. Nice job, Smith. Again, kind of started a little slow, but put the power to it, cut the hips nicely, and we're back on our feet. 7-5, our bout score.
Like to see Smith get a takedown here. He's been the aggressor. He's given his takedowns he's given up has been on his opponent's short offense. So he needs to get a little closer. There's nice little snap down.
Nice little bang on the head there. Got the leg, and Broderson
defended well.
Yep, kicks free. 15 seconds remaining in the second period. Crowd getting into it here a little bit, trying to root on the North Canton native. And again, on his feet coming up, and nice job there. Smith back on their feet, 5 seconds. A little slap to the head as both guys going back. Two seniors, a red-shirted senior in Smith and a true senior with Broderson. End of the second period, 7-5.
And I'll tell you right now, these college kids, the preseason that they put in to get in shape for a day like today is insane. But I'll still say this, nothing gets you in wrestling shape like wrestling. So some of these bigger guys, you may see them run out of gas a little bit. A reversal given up by Ben Smith.
Absolutely. Broderson started down in the third period and just kind of cut through there, spun around for the 2 reversal. 9-5, our bout score. And again, right into the claw ride up underneath that armpit around to the far trap. Good pressure. They really ride that pressure real nice.
Yeah, they do.
Up high.
Bennett with a little hip heist into a high crotch.
Through. He's got the single leg.
He put his head back inside, so he's in on a single.
Near side single there. Let's see, good quarter Nelson there, or a little bit of a quarter there. Pops out free. Back, both wrestlers on their feet. Smith again with the shot, head to the outside, and again countered and head down. 2-point takedown, Broderson. Boy.
Broderson scored every time on Smith's shots, yeah.
Everything was scored on a counter. 12-6 is our bout score, reaching 1 minute remaining in the third period. Broderson's going to give the escape. Smith on his feet. 12-7. Match not out of reach, but Smith's got a little ground to make up here.
He's down essentially 4 as riding time is almost secured. At this point, riding time is secured.
Both wrestlers on their feet, stalking each other, trying to find that opening. And I'll tell you, Jamin, and we talk about this in high school, but college, that attack window even becomes so much smaller, doesn't it?
No, definitely. Another thing that I was going to say is, like, in high school wrestling, it's all about chain wrestling and getting to your next technique before the next guy. And in high school, you see guys that they're really good at move A to B to C. That's when you get to be elite, is when you can get to, like, letter E. In college wrestling, it goes all the way. Like, the chain wrestling just never stops. And that's what really makes it fun to watch that kind of wrestling.
And Smith took the shot. Again, it was countered nicely by Broderson. Broderson had the takedown. That's going to do it. Whistle, buzzer sounds, the end of the third period, and the Cyclones will come away with their third victory. Our final score here is Broderson 15 and Smith 8, a 7-point differential. So as Jamie explained to us a little bit earlier, that's going to be 3 points to the match score, 13-0 Cyclones. Boy, I'll tell you what, a lot of action here. I think you talked a little bit about the conditioning. I'll tell you, Ben looked a little. He looked a little tired during the third period.
That was the point where that was when I noticed that he kind of lost a little bit of juice. But he took every shot in that match, so he did wear himself out. You're not going to tell your kid not to be aggressive.
Right.
He'll be able to wrestle that style come March. So that's a great. A great match. He wrestled hard. He pushed the action the whole time. He can close that gap for sure. He can close the gap on a guy like that. That could be a match that they see each other at the Nationals.
All right, and here at the college level, we only have 10 bouts, right? At the, of course, 14 at our high school level. Used to be 13 back. Was it 13 with you too, James, or would you go to 14 when you were wrestling?
No, it was less.
It was 13?
Yeah.
All right, so, but we only have 10 here, so we're getting ready for the 285-pound bout. Jamie, who are we going to see for the Cyclones at 285 pounds?
We have Younger Bastida, two-time national qualifier in 22 and 23. He was sixth in the Big 12 last year. Got a lot of freestyle in his background.
Per John Lowry, I'm supposed to tell you that this is the year of the heavyweight.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
The heavyweights are back.
That was last year.
That's right. Well, for the Cleveland State Vikings at 285 pounds, we're going to see a red-shirted sophomore. This is Daniel Bogdanovich. And Bogdanovich comes out of Grafton, Ohio. He wrestled for Midview High School. And last year at 2023, placed fourth at the MAC tournament. In high school, he was a 2020 state champion. 2019 finished fifth, and he was Midview's very first state placer ever. So that's a little nice piece to put on your resume. Boy, he is a big boy.
Historical.
All right, TJ, is this your weight class, buddy? We in the heavyweights with you here?
This used to be.
D tackles.
Used to be. Now it might be a little bit less.
These are the D tackles that everybody wants.
All right, quickly in on the shot. Low ankle is Batista.
He's considerably bigger.
And coming around nicely. Well done. First takedown goes to Bogdanovich. 3-0 Vikings. Good pressure on top, comes out to the side. Good hip pressure. Wrestlers go out of bounds. Whistle blows back to the center. Referee's position. Vikings on top.
Now I'm eager to see, because this is 2 matches in a row Cleveland State had the first takedown. Because Ben Smith scored the first takedown last match. So let's see if it's a conditioning type question come the third period.
Batista goes down in the referee's position. Bogdanovich up on top. Whistle blows. Trying to reach back behind there. Good pressure on top by Bogdanovich. Batista now up to his feet, trying to work back into the hands, trying to get his hips under him just a little bit. Reaches back for the leg.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you what, Bogdanovich says no, picks him up off his feet, right back down to the mat. Nice job.
That's a big athletic dude.
Good pressure on top, trying to keep that near arm secured. Again, Batista back on his feet, again trying to work those hands. He's got the hands, and he opens the gate, if you will. Breaks free, 1-point escape, 3-1 Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich did score off of Batista's shot, so we'll see if he gets a little more conservative, because he gave up a takedown off of a shot.
Absolutely, great.
That's a lot of hips on top of you.
That's a big boy. 285 pounds is our weight class. And again, going underneath, coming back out quickly is Batista. Both of them, they're both locked up. Batista down on the single leg. Boy, nice job. Went right down to the shoe top. And 2-point takedown, Batista. And quickly, just like that, Bogdanovich up on his feet, breaks free. We're tied up at 4-4, looking at 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining in the first period. Wrestlers
And
tied up
there's that
again.
single again by Bastida.
Again, real low. Nice job. Breaks it down. 3-point takedown, and he's okay to give that escape. He wants to go back on his feet.
Again, with the 3-point takedowns, that makes a huge difference.
We'll trade 3 for 1 any day, won't we, brother?
I grew up on 2 for 1, so I would have really enjoyed this 3-point takedown stuff.
Absolutely. Both wrestlers on their feet, moving
Nice
for
high
position.
crotch.
Nice high crotch into
Knee
position.
slide. Wow, that was pretty
and
for a
real
heavyweight.
sweet.
Fat
down.
man roll.
And again, has it there, has the far wrist. Bogdanovich trying to come up, gets his foot on the mat, hip to the pocket. Again, very fundamental, right back into the pocket, breaks free, gets the 1, 10-6 our bout score.
Both guys hand fighting. Not a lot of movement. They're not moving their feet a lot. We'll see some snap downs here. A little quick check of the clock right there.
10 seconds as we do a quick check of the clock.
That was
Bastida
nice,
again
too.
in through. He has a leg. He's driving across, trying to get that last takedown here. 4 seconds,
Got it.
and he'll get it. 2 seconds left in the
Bastida.
first period.
Wow.
And Bastida extends it by 3, 13-6. Cyclones. Wow.
What a nice offense. He takes a nice little shot, but that's the chain wrestling that I'm talking about. He takes that shot, then he knee slides again. He re-improves his body position. He gets his hips underneath the guy, and he's scoring. His first couple shots were a little far away.
Second period about to get underway. Bogdanovich, he's going to go down in the referee's position. Bastida on top. He'll line up. We're going to get a caution there. Jump the whistle just a little bit. Lines up on the what we'll call the opposite side, on the right side of Bogdanovich. Wrestler reset. Whistle blows, and again, foot comes right up and right away to his feet. But again, I don't think Bastida is too concerned giving that escape with the takedowns we've seen here recently.
Yeah, I don't think riding time's his game. He's got a nice little offense for a heavyweight.
Oh, nice low single,
2 high crotches and 2 low singles. There was an ankle pick to the low single.
Has it.
Right to a
Switches
double.
off to
He
a
picks
double,
him up
switches
to a
off.
Turk.
Nice job. Catches that leg. He's got it split, kind of in a Turk position. Let the leg go. Bogdanovich got the half Nelson in. Bogdanovich got to look away here a little bit. And again, claw comes off. He's going to go right back into his ride. Bogdanovich quickly up to his feet. He'll break free. 1 point, 16-8 our bout score.
Bogdanovich did a good job of getting his bottom leg out from that Turk because it might have been over. He had that half. He never really got his foot underneath that bottom leg, but it was right there.
13-0 is our match score. 16-8 our bout score as both wrestlers on their feet as we approach 1 minute in the second period. They're locked up head-to-head. Trying to find an opening again, though. That low single, kind of reminiscent of Kyle Snyder. No, James.
Yeah. These last couple have been almost ankle pick to a low single, where he's just changing levels, catching the back of that heel, and then getting his forehead to the inside of the knee. It's a really nice little change level shot for a big guy, because it doesn't really put you in any risk of getting the hips underneath it. You can back right out of there.
Absolutely, and we scored another one with that same move that Jamie just broke down for you. 19-9 is our bout score. Looking under 30 seconds remaining in the period.
He keeps
stepping
stepping
little
that
snap
front.
down right into it. Boy, snapped ahead, dropped right in that low single. Sweep, boom, on top. Just like that, 3 more. And our scoreboard guy is really messing me up as I'm watching the scoreboard up there.
Yeah, the Cleveland State wrestler has to quit leading that lead foot. That's where he's getting, he's getting there. He's leaning on him, and he's got all his weight on that front foot, and he's just waiting on it and changing levels. Bastida's just waiting for it and changing levels.
Well, they got the bout score. I was going to say they had it at 12-10. I thought we were a little bit more than that. They're moving things around here a little bit. We'll give you the bout scores. We can prepare for period number 3.
I have a really hard time believing it's 12-10.
Well, I do too. 12-10 just does not seem right. I mean, that, like you said, right back in our day, it was, the 2-1 trade. Now you're trading off 2 points. Nothing's changing though. They're leaving that 12-10 score up. That's puzzling. Well, in the down position, it will be Bastida.
It very easily could be 22-10.
Well, that's a good point. Maybe that's what the issue is.
Very easily could be, because
I think you're right.
They don't have the when they use the fouls on the basketball scoreboard. They can't make a 2.
Well, Bastida easily comes out from underneath. 23-10 is our bout score. We're going to go with that. I agree with Jamie. There's no way it's 13-10. 23-10. Good motion, good movement again. Bastida in. A nice counter, nice by Bogdanovich. No points yet on their feet. Can't break him down for the takedown. Back on their feet.
He needed that one if he was going to get back into this match. Bastida took a shot from a little too far away that time, noticed it, and backed out as quick as he could.
Well, you pointed that out with that style of wrestling going down low.
There's
like that.
that
The
lead
hips there, he has it. Got the lead foot as you talked about. Can back out easily enough to keep yourself out of trouble. He's down underneath, has it. Splitting the legs. We'll see if he's going to step up and cut through. A little bit of a step. Turns those hips, and he's going to get the three-point takedown, and that'll do it. With that takedown, we're going to have another technical fall for Iowa State. Your match winner with a score of 26-10. That'll be Younger Bastida.
All right.
Wow.
Let's get some little guys out here.
Yeah, it's time for the little guys. That's right, Jamie and I. This is our realm now, baby. Give us a you big boys out there, Big Daddy. I know you're out there listening, buddy. Time for us little guys to make the match. But again,
Well, boys, how's it going?
Not too bad. Not too bad. We just made a comment that we're ready to watch some little guys.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I called out Big Daddy. I said, Big Daddy, go sit in your lounge chair, baby. I want the little guys out here, and then you put the headgear on.
I can dig it, man. I just got loosened up over there with Dan Funk. He was showing me a couple moves. He said, man, we don't play around with those Buckeyes coming from Northwestern.
He's the man.
Got a chance to run into A.J. Dolph in the bathroom, too. Obviously, we highlighted him a lot last year. Obviously, the relationship with his father, all that he's done for wrestling locally in this area and his run. But just tough to see the guy out there with his leg, and he's got the ACL deal, and he's got the immobilizer on it. We know that he went through some of those issues at the end of the year last year. Maybe it was a foot thing.
It was his foot, yeah.
And then had a conversation last night. I want to give a special shout out to Tim Novelli, man, the Patriot Project ball that they put on last night at the Civic Center. Michael Floyd came down there. Just a ton of dignitaries, a ton of men and women that have served our country, have Medal of Honor recipients, Purple Heart recipients, and had a chance to talk with Brian Baum, head coach there at North Canton, and told him, I said, obviously not the way you wanted to end your season last night, losing. And Jim, you were on that call.
Yep.
Got a chance to see Green really just handle business and take care of work, but he kind of outlined for me how it happened with AJ, and just one of those deals in the game of football, man. You go to cut and you come back out and it's just exposed and it goes, and you just hate to see somebody have to miss their entire wrestling season. I know the kid loves football. Yeah. Wrestling seems to be his bread and butter moving forward collegiately, but you never want to see anybody miss an entire season.
He's in good spirits, and sometimes kids that don't lose extended amount of time like that, they come back refreshed.
Yeah.
This sport is very taxing. To spend a year where you just get to sit back and watch, sometimes you come back stronger.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, the beauty of wrestling, right, is the fact that we can have all body sizes, styles, weights here. We move from 285 pounds down to 125. Who we got wrestling out there for the Cyclones, James?
We have Keeson Turakina, two-time NCAA qualifier, fifth at the Big 12 in 2022, sixth in 21, four-time Hawaiian state champion.
Wow, this guy wrestling out of Hawaii, outstanding. And for the Vikings, we have a red-shirted freshman. This is Ben Aranda. Ben coming out of the state of Illinois, where he wrestled at DeKalb High School. He was a 2021 junior freestyle Greco runner-up, both styles. And in 2020, he placed fourth at the Illinois State Tournament. So, again, as the wrestlers on the mat, we're a minute into the first period. And after that, a quick takedown by the young man from Iowa State, escape by Aranda. It's 3-1.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that's another state that you're going to hear about more and more. Illinois has really started to put wrestling towards the forefront. You're getting a lot more kids out of that state as well. It's just, again, another Midwestern state. It's the opposite of what Turakina's from. We don't have pretty weather here in the wintertime. We spend it in the gym.
And surfing waves.
Yeah, right. So it's nice to see a Hawaiian kid out here, someone that's from a climate like that to spend, the winters in the gym.
I mean, if you had to put your finger on the pulse of what wrestling at the high school level is like in Hawaii, I mean, what would you say? I mean, you don't see a ton of wrestlers come out?
Well, I'll tell you what, they when we're out in Fargo, I'll tell you what you see a lot is the Hawaiian women's. They have a very good women's program out of Hawaii. And, and the tough part about coming across in the state, right? I mean, to wrestle some of us, you got to cross the ocean to get over here to the mainland, to get some of those matches. So the level of quality, I don't know. I can't speak to it. I do know what I see out in the summertime. And, not as many men, but those that are there well represented. All right, again, our bout score 3-1 here as we approach getting close to the 45 seconds in the first period. Again, Terrakina was in on a nice shot. Nice work by Aranda to work himself back up to their feet. They're in neutral position, tied up head-to-head.
Aranda seems to want to pass that elbow. Terrakina keeps coming out with that collar tie, and he's going elbow pass to a shot, but he hasn't gotten it off yet.
Terrakina dropping down, trying to grab that single leg. Nothing there as Aranda has the hips away very nicely. Again, nice job. Both guys,
There's
good pressure. Staying square, looking for that opening. Again, Terrakina now with the underhook on the left side. Head on the left, trying to create an opening there. And Aranda doing a nice job staying square, defending the position.
Aranda's doing a good job of keeping his butt to the center of the mat. He seems to be working really hard. I'm expecting one of those pass elbows to have a shot come with it.
All right, that'll do it. End of the first period as our bout score 3-1. Terrakina, when he's kind of arching a little bit, like his lower back might have a little spasm or something there. Looks over, talks to coach a bit. But we're going to go into the second period. Referee's position, Aranda, he's going to go down, and Terrakina on top. He'll line up on the right side of his opponent. Ooh, I think he jumped the whistle.
Yeah.
Yep, a little caution there. Again, you're allowed a few cautions before you give up the point, but you never want to do that.
Yeah,
Just wait for the whistle.
You got two freebies. You want to win the first move.
And nice job this time. Terrakina is going to line up on the opposite side, make Aranda think about it a little bit. Aranda, again, up nicely, has the hips underneath him, working on the hands. Tries to cut those hips away and breaks free. 1 point escape. Aranda, they're on the feet. Oh, quickly back in. Terrakina on the shot, single leg. Head on the inside nicely. Leg comes up. Both wrestlers scrambling very well. Terrakina has the leg up in the air. A little bit of a pass there, and nice scramble by Aranda. Well done. Again, shot to the right leg by Terrakina.
Your Greco guys latched up with an overhook and a key lock.
Absolutely. He's over top. Aranda is on the right arm. Again, Jamie, pointing out that freestyle Greco experience that Aranda has. Boy, nice job underneath. Terrakina underneath. Head between the legs. They're both on the mat, kind of sideways down. Aranda scrambling, trying to fight through. Terrakina trying to bring those hips around. Aranda's got the head pinched, and he's underneath that right arm. Terrakina sitting up, has Aranda up off the mat a little bit. No position. Aranda wants to hold for a stalemate, baby, here.
He gets that body lock. He might be able to get a stalemate. That's a tough position there. He's in trouble now.
Nothing yet. Now he's in trouble. Now he's coming through, and no points awarded yet. There they are. Takedown. Iowa State. Terrakina with the 3.
What an exchange right there. Terrakina in on that underhook, goes like elbow or goes underhook high crotch, but the Cleveland State guy stepped his foot back, so he took the single leg that was there. So he actually went underhook to a far leg shot that created all that action. It was a great shot.
Aranda did a nice job, got to his feet, got the 1 point takedown, went in on a shot. Again, hips were too far away, countered nicely by Terrakina. Again, takedown 9-3, our bout score. 15 seconds remaining here in the second period as we are bringing you live broadcast action of the Cleveland State Vikings and the Iowa State Cyclones, the big match, the last match right here out of Perry High School. David Carr.
What's fun about high school and college is high school, you have the same coaches, so you see a lot of the same techniques out of a team. In college, the kids are made, and then now coaches do recruit guys that wrestle their same style of offense and things like that. But one thing that's really standing out to me in this match so far is there's been a lot of short offense defensive takedowns out of this Iowa State team.
Absolutely.
You better take a good shot on this Iowa State team because they're making you pay. It's one thing if somebody shoots on you, they don't score, you end up in neutral. But if they shoot on you with one of their best shots and you score, that really can play mind games with somebody's offense. 9
seconds remaining as the clock is going to go. Buzzer will sound. Aranda was down as we'll go into the third period. Official is looking at Terrakina, and it'll be his choice in the third period. Terrakina, he says, I'm going to go down. So he's going to work for the escape. Aranda on top. He's got to work for that fall. 9-3 is our bout score. Quickly to his feet is Terrakina. Nice job return to the mat by Aranda. Again, running the waist there, trying a little suck back there on the chin, but not to be as the hips cut clean by Terrakina. 1 point escape quickly right into a low single. And again, kind of in that scramble position where they were at just earlier towards the end of the second period, and comes around 2-point takedown. Terrakina.
He took that same shot that the heavyweight was taking. He went to that low single and they stepped it back, and he took the other low single. It was just, the chain wrestling is just different. It's just so much fun to watch kids move from one move to the next.
Yep, so much more advanced. You know, it's something we talk about a lot, right? A flow. You got to have that flow as you move from that one move to the other. Again, you talked about the ABC concept. And what you see in high school a lot of times, and I speak to this, you know, and not out of school, my oldest boy, good wrestler, but something we used to call a little more cerebral. He had to think about maybe moving from one to the next move, right? Where you see some of those wrestlers at that next level, they don't think, it just happens, right? It's that muscle memory, and you know, again, you just see it at such an elevated level here at the college
Terrakina
ranks.
is definitely winning that battle.
That preparation, you know, you just you live it, breathe it, sleep it once you get to the collegiate level.
Absolutely.
No, and you've got so much, like Jamie said, there's no better conditioning than wrestle. These guys have put in hours and hours and hours, not only in the practice room, but in live competition in tournaments, high-level tournaments, as Jamie was sharing about Terrakina out of Hawaii, some of the things he's done. Aranda, you know, going and wrestling and runner-up at the Fargo Nationals, both freestyle and Greco. But right now, Terrakina just too much for the red-shirted freshman here. Takedown, they're back on their feet. 13 seconds remaining in the third period. 16-5, our bout score. Terrakina in on it again. Single leg, going to reach across, shoe across, drives across. Another 2-point takedown. 19-5, and that's going to do it. Wow.
And the takedowns get a little easier as you go, and that's how I was taught to wrestle. So I might be a fan of this little incentive to make people wrestle on their feet a little bit more. You know,
well, I'll tell you what, James.
Ohio is traditionally a feet
Oh,
state,
no, we've always been known as a state that wrestles a little bit more prowess on our feet.
It incentivizes the feet wrestling a little bit.
Now, you probably won't agree with me, but I'll tell you what, after the years of watching what I've watched, I'll tell you what, I would not be upset at all if we took folk style out and brought in freestyle as our main style of wrestling. I just love the freestyle style of wrestling.
Can I ask you a question from earlier, Jamie? We were talking about, I don't know, did I say it right? Hawaii. Maybe should I put the Hawaii on it, right?
You got to okay.
You mentioned something about, was it there's more opportunities for guys in the state of Pennsylvania? How is that?
There's just more schools that have wrestling. There's you know, a lot of smaller schools. Like we have Ohio State, we have Cleveland State, but they have.
You're looking at the Thiels and the Edinburghs and stuff like that.
Yes, the Pitt Johnstowns that dominate like D2, and you know, there's just lots and lots of college schools that they can go compete at, and they're at all levels.
Yeah.
Not just, you know, a couple here and there.
You think about the young man from Fairless, I believe, was runner-up, Max Kirby, and he's wrestling in Edinburgh now.
Edinburgh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I mean, Edinburgh is a small college, but they have Division I wrestling.
Wait a minute, Captain Hawaii. Is it Edinburgh or is it Edinburgh?
I've never heard Edinburgh.
I haven't either. I mean, who is this guy?
I mean, the only reason,
you know, orange, you know, when you're going from PA to
potato,
Ohio.
potato.
You know?
I'll tell you what, though, folks, again, you're joining Stark Media on live broadcast of college wrestling right here out of Perry High School as the Vikings taking on the Cyclones. Our match score, boy, Cyclones are definitely taking it to the Vikes right now, 23-0. None of this happens, though, without all of our great sponsors out there. And I want to shout out a few of those while we have a moment here as we await the 133-pound weight class. Simon Says Promotions, J.P. Simons, of course, the owner down there, as his coach at Massillon, and the Massillon Tigers looking to move on in the football playoffs.
We got Soup versus JP this week.
Oh, my gosh, that's right. The Soup and the JP. Also, we want to thank Stark Market, Cherry on Top Adventures, Brits Bows, Ground Zero MMA. And, James, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Of course, UFC here broadcasting live. Of course, the video rights. Again, we apologize not being able to bring you a video.
I'm still waiting for Dana White to call me back. I sent him a text message.
You did?
He usually gets back to me pretty quick. You know, I mean, we got a lot of billionaire UFC guys in my phone.
Now, we're going to talk, James.
He's in Vegas. He's a few hours behind us.
There you go.
We're going to talk a little bit about that here as we before the night's out. So, James, at 133 pounds, whistle has blown. Well, who are we seeing here for the Cyclones?
Looks like we have Evan Frost. He was 165-2 in high school out of Louisiana. He was a junior freestyle. He's a junior freestyle national champion. So he's obviously the real deal.
No, absolutely.
He's a freshman.
All right, and for the Vikings, we're looking at Jake Manley. Jake is a redshirted sophomore. He comes out of Grand Rapids, Ohio. He wrestled at Otsego High School. He placed last year 4th at the MAC Championships. In his high school career, he was a 4-time high school state qualifier, his best finish being 3rd. And the one COVID year, of course, that was shut down, we didn't have the high school state championships, even though we did have qualifiers. Thus, you are identified as a qualifier to the state tournament. He was 47-0 that year and did not get a chance to see how it ended up for him. Well, we're about a minute into the match here, just underneath a minute into the first period. No takedown at this point, and Manley is in on the single leg.
Frost defending it well. There's the stalemate. He was in on a nice shot. He didn't really create much of an angle, but at least made a threat.
Now, the cool thing about Mr. Frost here, of course, right behind him, we're going to see his twin brother, Jacob. So, I don't know. You and Tommy didn't get a chance to wrestle together. Jeff and I, we had 1 year. My brother, Jeff, we had 1 year to wrestle. I was a senior. He was a freshman. It's kind of cool I liked it, at least wrestling with my brother that year. Got a beat on him a little bit. But to have your twin brother on the same school, not only in the same starting lineup, how cool is that?
Yeah, I can't imagine what it would have been like to practice with my brother every day. And I worked with my brother a lot, but he was 14 years older than me. But to have a brother that was your drill partner every day, I can't imagine what that would have done for the both of us.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, either you got a lot better or there have been a lot more lumps on each other when somebody did something they weren't supposed to. 1 minute into the first, remaining in the first period. No score here. And, again, Manley underneath nicely on the single, but Frost doing a nice job defensively.
Yeah. That's the standout difference between the two teams to me is their short offense, which is their defense. In wrestling, that's kind of a term we don't like to say defensive. It's your short offense, which means the opponent threatens you and you defend them with your offense when they've already committed to you.
Well, we always talk about, right, you've talked a lot about the flow. We used to coach it action, reaction, right? I mean, he initiates an action. Where is what will be your reaction? And it just continues both that way. First action creates one reaction to create another reaction. And the wrestling continues. Under 30 seconds remaining in the first period. No takedown here. Both wrestlers doing a nice job on their feet. Manley, of course, having 2 real nice shots, but as Jamie has pointed out, great counter-offensive moves by the Cyclones.
That was good movement there.
Both wrestlers locked up head-to-head. They're moving to the outside of the out-of-bounds line, though. A little push there, nothing there, and the period's going to end. And after one, no score, 0-0. Boy, haven't seen that in our first few matches. Official looks over. It looks like it's going to be choice by Iowa State. And Mr. Frost says, I'm going to go down in the referee's position. So he quickly gets set. Manley will mount on top. He's going to mount up on the left-hand side of his opponent. Whistle blows quickly. Up to his feet is Frost. And again, Manley kind of coming across, right a little bit of that half on the backside. And nice. Boy, hips cut away just like that. 1 point escape, Frost. Again, both wrestlers working out front, working the collar tie, coming up underneath, head outside, single, heads through there. Yep. Manley's got it, good condition. Frost is trying to work his way to the other side. Manley still there. Frost has it. No, he's going to give it up there. 2-point takedown, Frost.
Frost was winning the battle of head position there for a bit there. They were a little ear to ear, but his forehead was kind of in the pocket, not necessarily ear to ear, and there was that thumb block high crotch to get himself on the board there with the first takedown of the match. Well,
again, with coaching, as we've both done, you and I, many years, you don't want to take that single leg shot head to the outside per se, unless you keep those hips moving, and it's exactly what it did. As soon as Frost got there into that position, those hips started transferring off to the other side, kind of, as you talked about earlier. Creating those angles are so important in our sport.
Absolutely.
4-0 is our bout score. Manley is down. He's trying to gain some position there. He's on all fours, not making his way up off his feet just yet. Nice riding on top. The riding time ticking away for Frost towards his advantage at 40 seconds.
Yeah, Manley needs to get moving. The last thing he needs is to cross over that riding time period. About 15 more seconds, and Frost will be over a minute in riding time. which can make or break a closer match like this, especially with that 3-point takedown, the 4-point near fall. You can close gaps in college wrestling pretty quick.
15 seconds remaining here in the second period. Again, Frost went down to start the period, quickly got the escape and takedown. And what's going to take us into the third period, Manley is not going to be able to come up from the bottom. But good riding on top, and he's into the riding time, isn't he, James?
Completely controlled him. He never let his hips out from underneath. You know, he never. Manley never got any hip separation. Frost kept him right in the pocket the whole time, and there was nowhere for him to go.
All right, going into the third period, choice by Jake Manley. Manley's going to go neutral. They're going to go on their feet, and right just like that, he's in on a single leg, has the head inside nicely.
He's come up with it. Frost breaks him down to his hip. The hands are unlocked. Now watch for Frost to go to that cross drag there. Ooh, right in onto a shot off of the cross drag. Manley doing a good job of working his whizzer, but as Frost shelves that and steps over.
Got that up, and that's it. Yep, 2-point takedown, 7-0 now our bout score at 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining in the period. And interesting here. Frost is going to give the escape. They're going to go back up on their feet. So Frost coming out front, kept that good head pressure down. And again, now Frost, he's into the near side, single head inside nicely, posts the hands. He's tripod up. He's looking for that far shoe, and looks like he's going to have it. Crosses over nicely, boy. I'll tell you what, Coach Talarczyk teaches that shoo quite a bit, finish, right? Yep. Shoo finish, and that was picture perfect. Yep. I can see Coach in the crowd. He's got a little smile on his face over there.
I was definitely raised on that, no doubt about it. The pressure into the thigh, the shoo finish. Some people call that chase the ankle. There's a couple different terminologies for it, but it's definitely high-level technique.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's what's fun about our sport, right? Depends your room, my room. We'll hit the same move. You call it, this. We call it that, but it's actually the same technique. Well, again, coming to their feet, getting that takedown, 13-2 our score, and this one's slipping away from Manley with 25 seconds remaining on top again. And Coach is going to, once Frost to put him back on his feet, comes out nicely, keeps that head down and away, so there can be no counter shot as they come up.
Nice.
And he's into the single leg, boy, sweet, right on the edge of the mat. Whizzer in by Manley, trying to fight it. 8 seconds left. Will he get that final takedown? Trying to step, scoops up that far. And the official says absolutely 16-3 is going to be our final, and that's going to be another major decision for the Cyclones.
Again, I see feet wrestling. I see more feet wrestling in college wrestling than I've seen in a long time. Maybe I'm going to become a fan of this 3-point takedown.
You got a big smile on your face there, buddy.
I might be.
Well, you think about it, the only other 3-point, technique you could have is a near fall, and that's after you've held a position, at least for a 5 count to get 3 points. 2's there, but now on your feet you can get 3, and from what I understand, that is being discussed at the high school level, correct?
I've heard things. I think it would be a while before we actually had a change. It'll be a year or two before any type of change would be made. But
well, it's like we say, though, where college goes, high school follows. Yeah. So what you're hearing and they're piloting right now, again, as Jamie said, next year or two, you might see it at the high school level. Well, Jamie was going to mention a little bit about UFC, and I know, when I was coaching high school, you're always trying to find ways to, get guys to come out, be part of your team. Obviously, you have those that, they know they want to wrestle, those that think they want to wrestle, those that that if they would love it and be part of. And, of course, we always have some of the tough stigmas. Well, I got to lose weight. Back in not your day, my day, well, you got to wear tights. I don't like the singlet, all these type of things. One of the, and again, when I was coaching middle school, one of my last realms over there at Jackson, one of the things I used to talk to kids about is the fact if you watch UFC, and I know you watch a lot of UFC and MMA, on the nights there, when you see the better athletes in their resume, for a lot of them, you always see they wrestled somewhere.
Well, the training translates very easily. The training translates very easily, and that's one of the things that makes it nice.
Well, and that's something out there, coaches, if you're looking for a little draw, something to talk to the kids about, again, as the training does, and the technique helps too. When you're out there, when you get on the mat and after you hit somebody and you take them down the mat, having a little bit of wrestling knowledge and knowing what you're doing to ride somebody or to punish somebody on top, definitely works its way in. All right, we're ready for the 141 weight class. Who we seeing here, James, from Iowa State?
Well, we have the twin brother of Evan Frost. We have Jacob. He was a high school runner-up out of Louisiana. He's a redshirt freshman. So this is one of his first collegiate matches.
And for the Vikings, we have another freshman. This will be Dylan Layton. Dylan coming from Indian Land, South Carolina. He wrestled at Indian Land High School in South Carolina. He was a two-time South Carolina state champ, and over his course of his final 2 years, posted a 72-3 record. He's also won the Michigan State Open when he opened and started his college career. Boy, did I just see a head and arm?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's nothing there, though. He didn't score with it.
Layton.
And that was in a little bit of a flirt. Oh, he did give it to him. He gave him 2 and the 4.
Wow. So Layton coming out with the head and arm, one of the moves you don't see quite a bit at the college level, but Layton slammed it, got the 3-point takedown, and 4 for the back.
It was in a flurry. It wasn't like he just went out and banged his head and went. Frost was in on a shot. There was a little bit of a scramble, and boom, there came the head and arm.
And Frost quickly with a reversal. Score is 7-2, 1 minute 35 seconds remaining in the first period. But again, as James said, a little bit of action there, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, the head and arm gets thrown. But the wrestling doesn't stop. Frost counter, come out of the position, doesn't get into wasn't too much of a serious position to be pinned, and came out with a reversal. And Layton back on his feet as they are 8-2 in the first period, 1 minute 10 seconds remaining.
He's a bulldog. Layton's a bulldog, man. He snaps hard. He takes good shots. Very physical wrestler.
Oh, absolutely. On the edge of the mat here. And I'll tell you what, this is kind of the first, wrestler I've seen, kind of, not saying that we're going to see at the steady diet here of this match, but kind of working that wrestling on the edge there.
Yep.
That is his technique style. Some coaches work that, kids work that. Whistle blows back on their feet. Yep, that was Frost, the twin brother there of Evan Frost. Evan, of course, finishing with a major decision. Our match score is 27-0, and just like that, 3-point takedown, Frost.
Yeah, 30 seconds to go in this first, and it's 8-5, just like that.
Good pressure on top by Frost as Layton is trying to get to his feet, but again, Jamie talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Nice job, nice riding by this Iowa State team. Two techniques, Jamie, solid on their feet, great counter move or counter offense, and do a nice job riding.
Absolutely. They're doing a good job of breaking their opponent. Then they're knowing when to start to go back to your feet and get takedowns. They're doing a good job. They've had riding time in almost every match we've watched.
All right, buzzer sounds. That'll be the end of the first period. After one, the Viking still on top, 8-5. Choice will look to be went to Cleveland State, and Layton will go down in the referee's position. Aligning on the left-hand side is Frost. Whistle blows, and let's see if Layton can get it to his feet. Tripod position. He comes up, and we're going to be given the escape by Frost. Frost, hard snap down, boy. Nice job. Comes in on the shot. Nice counter move by Layton. Layton coming across, has the legs. He's going to get 2-point takedown. We got back exposure now. He's got a nice tight, got that lock around the back. We got back points. Officials got the fingers up. He's going to get 3-point takedown and a 4-point on the near fall. 16-5, just like that.
Boy, Layton swings for fences, man. His takedowns are worth 7.
And Frost quickly gets the hips out. Looks like they're going to go back up on their feet. They do. Frost has the escape. 1 minute remaining in the second period. What a nice flurry coming underneath. Hips way behind. Don't want to be there with this young man as he, again, back on their feet, pressuring. Layton's back to the out-of-bounds line. Frost again with a little high crotch shot there to the outside. Layton defends, pushes him out, back to the center. 56 seconds remaining. Whistle blows. Both wrestlers now locked up on their feet. Collar ties. Frost dropping in the far side. Tries to sweep through. Nothing there.
Layton again is winning the battle ahead position. I've seen that a couple times in this match. While now Frost seems to have it. That was all it took right there.
Yeah, just what you called. He had that head really nice. Spun around for 2. Quickly, Frost puts him back onto his feet. 17-9, our bout score. Quickly down into a single leg, and Leighton going to counter nicely. Again, they're both up on their feet, and with the underhook pick, far side three-point takedown, Frost, 17-12, 15 seconds, second period.
Frost is about 5 seconds away from some riding time advantage. I'll tell you what, there's a 17-12 match as this second period ends. We're going to see some fireworks as this one ends.
And there it is.
Frost is building momentum with every takedown, but Leighton seems to score with these big points.
17-12, our bout score. It's Iowa State's choice. Frost looks over his coach. Coach says, hey, let's go neutral. So they're on their feet. Again, nice snap down. Yep.
He's a physical dude, man.
He is. I'll tell you, nice job. And inside on the front headlock position is Frost as he kind of reaches back for that leg. And Leighton on his knees finally comes up. Don't want to stay on the knees out front.
Those little scrambles is where he caught him in that headlock, too. They're both in a neutral position where they just broke up from stopping a shot.
Leighton leading at this point, 17-12, 1:30 remaining in the period. Little snap down right on the edge of the mat, going out of bounds. Out of bounds. They're going to say stalling Cleveland State.
He backed the whole way off the mat. Yep.
Good call.
Good call.
No, absolutely. Wrestlers on their feet. Whistle blows. Again, neutral position. Frost dropping down underneath. And Leighton coming into the far side, head to the outside on the single leg. Can he reach across, maybe for shoe or for far knee? Frost defending well.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of controlling that wrist. He lost it now, so we're close to 2 here.
And Leighton comes across hips high, gets the 2-point takedown. 1 minute remaining. 20-12, our bout score. Leighton on top. Frost has got to get to his feet, try to break three. And he does so. Nope, does not get the one. Going to maybe go around for reversal. Yes, he's going to give up to two. So instead of 1 and 3, we're just going to get 2 points on the reversal. And coach says, hey, we got to get some points. Let him go.
40 seconds left. I got to believe Frost's plan is to either get him to his back from his feet or to get 2 quick takedowns.
I don't think he's awarded. He is not awarded the escape. It is 20-14. Coach lets him know you haven't done it. Now the escape is awarded. 30 seconds, under 30 seconds. Both wrestlers on their feet.
That lost him 10 seconds to try and get 3 takedowns to win this match. Absolutely.
Leighton with the underhook on, then goes near side, drops to the single, far side back. He's in good position. He could stay right there. Got to keep that ankle. Scramble coming up, 10 seconds. And we're going to have a 3-point takedown quickly. 8 seconds left. Frost not
stalling
again.
As
there's a stalling call, 1 point. And with that, the buzzer will sound. Nice third period. Our final score. Cleveland State gets on the scoreboard. It is Dylan Leighton, 21, and Jacob Frost, 18.
Wow. Nice Cleveland State crowd here. It's a shame they've had to be silent so much. But, obviously it's about an hour drive south from Cleveland State to here.
Well, but like you talked about, James, my goodness, you got Ben Smith out of North Canton right here in our neighborhood. You got Ronnie Dimmerling out of Glen Oak. So there's some local boys here on this Cleveland State team that are local young men. As I peruse the crowd, I see a lot of youth and high school wrestlers here enjoying the action. So good to see some of their favorites that they've watched through the years wrestle right here at Perry.
Absolutely.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the live broadcast brought to you by Stark Media's Combat Division. Today we are presenting the Cleveland State Vikings and the Iowa State Cyclones. Our match score at this point is 27-3. We're about ready to go into the 149-pound weight class. Again, I want to shout out some of our sponsors. I want to thank Eagles FOE 190 and Hilscher Clark Electric. Both of them have been along with us. They were with us last year. James was right there, helped us out. Lindsay's Pizza. Well, have you had Lindsay's Pizza, James? You ever go to Lindsay's?
I had it at Districts.
That's right. Well, wait a minute. No, we had the breakfast pizza.
I didn't. That was a different time. And I didn't have the breakfast pizza because I was counting carbs. Obviously, I quit counting carbs, and I'm back right up to the weight I was before. So I did have Lindsay's Pizza at Districts, but it was hours old, and it was delicious.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, I had my first one this fall, and had the pepperoni and banana peppers, and it was outstanding. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, ready for the 149-pound weight class. Jamie, who are we going to see here, you think, from Iowa State?
We have Anthony Echemendia, I'm sorry. from
I think he's
from Cuba.
He's one of the Cuba. They have 2 guys in the lineup from Cuba.
Wow, he's from Cuba. He wrestled at it looks like he says he wrestled at Ohio State.
He did. He wrestled 1 year at Ohio State and moved over to Iowa State.
Nice. So, yeah, we'll see how I'm interested. I had a Cuban wrestling coach. In college, and one of his big things was not going to his knees on his shots. So I'm eager to see his attack style.
All right, and for the Vikings, we have a redshirted freshman, Douglas Terry. Terry comes out of Granville, Ohio. He wrestled at Granville High School, and at high school, he was a 2-time high school state runner-up, and he was a 3-time state qualifier. Again, he was part of that COVID year that brought the season to a short end for many of our athletes. All right, we're underway here. 30 seconds into the first period. Both wrestlers on their feet.
Shout out to my old coach, Alberto Rodriguez, 12-time Cuban national champion. You're no joke. You win 12 titles in Cuba.
I would say not. Ekamita down nicely on the far single there as he's trying to work his way around. Nice battle and fight by Terry as he's trying not to give it up. And the official says, nope, 3-point takedown, Iowa State. Quickly kicks free. Terry back on his feet. Takes a shot a little bit too far away on that technique. Wants to be a little bit closer there. Thank goodness no counteroffensive there by Ekamita. Boy, that's a tough one to say. Ekamita. Both wrestlers on their feet. Terry with the underhook on the right arm of Ekamita. And doing a nice job there. Of course, Ekamita also a lot of freestyle wrestling down in the Cuba area. And like you said, we're going to see what kind of technique we're going to see here on their feet.
Now, he's built quite a bit different than my old coach. There it is. There he went into a shot without going to his knee right there.
Absolutely. Has it, 3-1, and now that'll be the takedown. He gets it. It is 6-1, 1 minute, 10 seconds remaining here in the first period. Ekamita on top. And no doubt about it, Terry comes up and Ekamita just lets him go 1 point for the escape. 6-2 our bout score, under a minute remaining in the first period.
Ekamita seems to be the one pressuring and owning the center of the mat.
Both locked up, kind of collar tie position here, trying to fight for position. Good pressure, drops down to his knees as Terry, and as he pops up, boy, right into the shot as Ekamita. And again, double leg, tries to step up, cuts the corner, and he has it, James.
Yep. He took a nice shot. It was kind of the back leg, and then he windshield wiper and cut back across for the takedown. It was really a nice technique.
He was on his knees, but not for long, was he?
Right.
Absolutely. 9-2 our bout score. We're looking at 15 seconds remaining here in the first period. Ekamita with the right wrist as he's going to just give the escape again as Terry comes to his feet, cuts through. 1.93 our bout score. And without a flurry here, that looks to be where our score will end up. Again, our match score, the Iowa State Cyclones with a commanding lead here, 27-3. Troyce is going to go over to Iowa State as Ekamita looks over at his coaches, and he's going to defer, give choice to Mr. Terry. Terry looks over at Coach Moore. Coach Moore says, let's go down. So he's let him go, so at least, a little struggling on his feet, gets that 1 point. So let's take another point if he's going to give it to you.
Looks like he's going to make him work for it at least for a minute here. Well, he gave it to him.
Terry.
But nothing free.
No, absolutely. Yeah, because now you got to work through that flurry on his feet. Both wrestlers back on their feet. Our bout score 9-4. Ekamita from Iowa State in a commanding lead here, doing a nice job on his feet. Again, nice head pressure. Terry a little bit forward, down into the single leg goes. Ekamita has that. On that far knee, trying to drive across. Look for that far shoe. Terry trying to fight not to be 3 points. I'm going to have to work on that, James.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we're going to do this, and then we're going to go back to high school and we'll be back to 2. So, and with that, Terry quickly back to his feet. Ekamita just releases him. 12-5, our bout score, 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Another beautiful takedown by Ekamita. He's so quick. The shot before that, he went from front headlock right to his shot. Then he gave up the escape, and now he went just collar tie right to his regular sweep single.
3-point takedown. Ekamandia again reaching that 1 minute point in the second period. 15-5 is our bout score. And of course, Ekamandia, a junior, right? So, and again, with the red-shirted freshman, I don't know, from even here, James, our vantage point, I can tell a little bit, physical difference between these two wrestlers.
Nice little single again, the lift.
Far across, and again, 3-point on the takedown as he just extends this, working his way to that tech fall for the Cyclones. 18-6 our bout score. 30 seconds remaining in the period.
He's got a little back ankle ride. I think he's just trying to secure that riding time to finish this period. I think we'll see more feet wrestling in the third.
And he is over 1 minute, 10 seconds there, so he has the riding time, correct, James?
Yep.
Gave the escape there, right, with 13 seconds left. Has
Wow.
Terry off his feet and right down to the mat he goes with back points. 3 points, riding time, and the whistle's going to blow, and I think that is going to do it. Tech fall.
Oh.
Nope, I guess
Not
just a
quite
bit,
yet.
not quite there. All right. Trying to see if he
yeah.
gave him some back point. I thought he did with the takedown and the back points. I thought that was enough. And with that, we're going to have a final score here of 24-7. Your victor at 149 pounds, Anthony Ekamandia from Cuba.
Wow.
Wait a minute. If TJ was here, would he say Cuba?
Cuba.
Huh?
Cuba. I've heard that. I know. That's Cuba.
Cuba works? Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard of Eatonboro, though.
Nah, never. Nah, yeah, it's a basketball guy. Or a football guy.
Football
That's
guy. Yeah, that's number 72.
Yeah,
Right.
right,
Gotta be
right,
careful there. That's right. All right. Well, we're moving right along. It looks like we have 2 matches to go yet here this afternoon. The 157-pound weight class is coming up next. Before we introduce you to those wrestlers, again, we want to thank Leathernecks Nations Motorcycle Club, the Sam Center, and Save22.vet. I'll tell you what, folks, if you have anyone you know that has served in our armed forces that needs any help at all, these are one of the 3 organizations, or call all 3 of them. Get them the help they need. We want to thank them for their service, for helping our veterans, but more importantly, we want to thank our veterans. Of course, what's going on in our world today, our servicemen out in action. Please, if you have anybody that needs any help, look those guys up on the web and get that person the help they need. Also, H&H Truck Parts, C.H. Fallows and Associates, St. Joe's Senior Living, and AWP. Well, he's over here again on his phone. You going to put your headset on here and talk to us, or what there, brother?
Hey, you guys miss me?
Social butterfly in it, are you?
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, did you see him down there? He's like pictures, talking to everybody,
Working the room.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Tej, we're down to our last 2 matches here, brother, at 157 pounds. Jamie, who are we going to see from Iowa State?
We got Jason Krasher out of Maryland. He wrestled at Campbell University. He was an NCAA qualifier in 2023. He was also Big 12 fourth placer in 22. He was a national qualifier, and he was a 4-time state champ out of Maryland.
Oh, my. All right, and for the Vikings, we're going to have a red-shirted freshman. Again, those of you that have been around Ohio wrestling know this name, Shane Heil. Shane, of course, coming from Brook Park, Ohio. He wrestled over at Berea Mid-Park. His high school, he finished up with 144 career wins. First season in college, he wrestled as unattached. So here we go, the red-shirted freshman facing the senior from Iowa State. Both wrestlers on their feet and quickly in there, trying to drop in a little bit. There is
We got some action, back-to-back firemen.
And, boy, nice job by
Krasher went firemen's and Heil stopped.
Heil came across
right
him.
with it.
Absolutely.
Into a Peterson.
Heil with the
Peterson.
2, and Krasher with the Peterson has a 2-point reversal. We're going to get some back points. I saw a swipe.
I just saw one.
I'm not sure we're going to get 2 there. They go out of bounds. Nice job.
What a flurry that was. Oh, and there's their first break of the evening, fellas.
All right, and Jamie talked about it again, a little bit different here in college. You have the opportunity to throw the brick, to have a little video review, and to ask about the call. So
that little flurry was something to see. Man, Krasher went for a fireman's carry. Heil defended it well, came up to his feet, hit a fireman's carry for a takedown, and right away Krasher went Peterson roll, and he got him on his back, and the ref did count to 1. I think that he had him there long enough to get at least a 2 count. But that's a really funny spot because where did the ref give control? So it's a judgment spot. So it'll be interesting to see what these referees will come up with.
And is that what you believe the brick is by Coach Moore? You think that's what he's asking? When was control enough for the reversal?
They're saying if there's no back points, there's no control. That's why they're throwing the brick, as opposed to those guys throwing the brick thinking, hey, I should have gotten more back points. Like either team could have thrown that brick there.
Now, I did not see. Did a red brick go out?
The green one went out.
No, I definitely saw the green brick.
So they're saying that there was no control.
Wait a minute. We're saying brick. TJ's getting excited here.
I think I kind of need a green brick, man. Maybe we can put a little gold on it, too, for the green and gold. I'm kind of disappointed now that I only have a red brick. But I got to tell you guys something, man. I'm not one to ever pump anybody's ego up or pump anybody's heads up. But I'll tell you what, those UFC guys down there, they ain't got nothing on you guys. Let me tell you, you guys sound, and we had a chance to listen with some of the people down there to your guys' broadcast here on our YouTube channel. You guys sound like you're in mid-season form, man. I mean, we haven't even gotten to the preview yet.
Hey, this is what we do.
I'm blushing.
Yeah. Listen, my diapers were changed on wrestling mats. I don't know any different.
They were?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God,
absolutely.
Did they use a little Trisano to clean it up with?
The diaper dog.
I've been around wrestling my whole life.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, the brick paid off for the Vikings. They're going to take those 2 points away. They're saying no reversal. So with that, Kreisner's going to go down, and whistle blows.
So it's funny that they started riding time at that point. They started riding time right when they blew the whistle there, so he would have been in control that whole time.
Absolutely. Good point. And Kraser coming around. He looks like he's going to have the possible here on the reversal. He's got the leg up, and the leg goes down. He's going to take the one. So 1 point escape. Both wrestlers on their feet. They're on the far edge. And again, nice high crotch in on the shot is Heil. Heil coming across that going to that far leg, and Kraser nicely into the crotch lock.
Getting that shoe hooked.
He's going to try to stalemate this out. Yeah. He's in a bad way right here. Can Heil cut through and come around?
I think so.
And he cuts through. He does. We're going to get the 2 points.
Oh, if he gets that leg straight.
And he hasn't got it yet. Boy, what a scramble by Kraser. No points yet. He almost wanted to go up with it. Nothing yet.
Well, they counted a back point.
Now the takedown has not been put on the board. I didn't see the 3 go up, Coach. I'm not sure that he gave the takedown just yet.
But he counted a back point. I saw him.
Well, was it that, or was he going to give the 3 and then pulled it down?
He thinks he's still in control. Now,
wait a minute. They broke free completely.
Confused. Now I'm confused because it should be 3-1.
Yeah, the score should be 3-1.
And he counted that back point as though he was still in control.
All right. Well, that's definitely the case. The scoreboard is wrong.
He
1 minute.
Now,
There we go. So 3-1. Okay, our score is right. Bout score is 3-1. Heil in the lead here. 1 minute remaining in the first period. Our match score 32-3. Again, Iowa State's going to come away the winner here. But again, the big match yet of the night is David Carr, Perry High School graduate, as the fans are going to go crazy when he comes to the mat. And a nice scramble. Both guys underneath on their feet. No control yet.
The referee counted for danger, not a back point. And that's
okay.
I'm not in midseason college form.
Well, we don't do that many college matches there yet, brother.
That was the danger swipe is what that was.
All right, well, again, no takedown here. Official was going to say stalemate. Boy, Kraser was in nice position there, just could not come around to secure the control. Both wrestlers back on their feet. 29 seconds remaining in the first period. 3-1 our bout score. Both wrestlers engaged, locked up on top. Kraser with an underhook on the left side, and dropping down the ankle is Heil. Heil comes through, and again, there's that counter offense by the Cyclones. Takedown Kraser 4-3. Boy, Heil dropped down for that far ankle, and Kraser just brought the hips around and scored the takedown, and that's going to do it here for the first period as time is going to run out. After one, it's Iowa State 4, Cleveland State 3. Choice going to go over to Mr. Heil as he is going to defer. He's going to give choice to Kraser. Kraser looks over at his coaches. Coach says, referee's position, you're going down, buddy. And down he goes. Heil's going to line up on the left side as he prepares for the whistle. Whistle blows. And right to his feet is Kraser. And Heil says, nope, I'll just let you go. 5-3 our bout score.
Man, Heil in on that low single again. It's nasty.
Nice
Good
job,
scramble
scramble.
again.
And again, Kraser on that ankle. Oh, watch that knee. You're going to go through, has it. And they're just scrambling on the mat. Both guys ankle deep, knee deep. And
so this is where those danger positions can
we
be.
got to watch that. Watch that knee near side. And if he comes around, and he does, Kraser gets the takedown. Boy, that's a tough. They were, heads opposite ends, and just comes up with Kraser with the 3.
What a nice scramble. Both guys. I mean,
Absolutely.
This match has been a little different than the other ones. There has been some really nice scrambles, and guys really battling for takedowns.
Riding
pretty
clock.
Even.
Absolutely. Riding clock clicking away at 15 seconds as it increases. 8-3 our bout score. The Iowa State wrestler Jason Kraser in command, 8-3. Heil trying to get himself up, brings that outside leg up, but can't get the other. And again, James, we talked about this early. Iowa State, nice job on top.
Absolutely. He's running that little back ankle ride. A lot of times guys look for the cross-face cradle from there, but you got to elevate that foot up off the ground and get your hips over on top of him.
Now, did I
that
just
was
see a
more
stalling
just
call right there?
Not sure.
The official blew the whistle. Right hand was up like we normally see stalling. They reset. It wasn't stalemate. I mean, I thought we could ride. I mean, yeah, you want to work towards a fall, but it's not quite like what we see at the high school level.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a little confused with that one, but all right, again, whistle has blown, and again, trying to get the legs in on top is Kraser. And Heil keeps the legs pinched. He does not want that leg to come in. Now he's going to end up getting both of them. He's going to be split underneath.
He's doing a good job of fighting with his knees to get out of that bad position.
10 seconds.
But Kraser secured his position. He's not too high. He should be able to ride him out the rest of this period.
Armbar on the near side, armbar and wrist, and Kraser just going to be happy to ride this period out as the buzzer sounds. That'll do it. 2 periods in the books. After 2, bout score is 8-3, Kraser. Choice will go over to the Vikings, and Shane Heil looks over at his coach. Coach says we're going to go down, so they're going to go to the referee's position. Heil down, Kraser on top. Again, the wrestler on top cannot mount until the bottom wrestler is set. Going to line up on the right-hand side. Whistle blows. Heil pops quickly up to his feet. And a little bit of a Granby roll there from his feet.
Not a great position here.
No.
Don't expose your back.
Absolutely not. Kraser has the leg split. Heil kind of
teetering. Heil's teetering. He's trying to work a little scramble with that back ankle, but it's a very risky position when you're on bottom. Oh, the nice little
and
adjust
slips
to a
over
tilt.
into an arm bar. Yeah, he's got an arm bar on the right-hand side, and he's looking for that far wrist. He has it. I don't know if he's going to get that leg out to run it or not. Again, Kraser on top, arm bar deep on the right side, and he's staying parallel. Didn't come out to run that. Picks him up off his feet, returns him into his mat. Returns him that. Not overly hard. Nice job, but Heil just cannot. And, again, whistle blows. Not sure what we have. Blood time?
I don't know. It looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have – yep. Gonna have the whistle blown, a little bit of blood time.
Get the stapler out.
That's right.
That or the nose plug. Now, see, here's where we need Tersano, right here, Coach.
Yep.
All right, I'll tell you what, a little Tersano, little aqueous ozone, squirt that mat down. See how that guy's got PPE? See how he's got them gloves on, Coach? If you're using Tersano, we don't have to have any PPE, no gloves on our hands because no, absolutely not. Safety data sheet on that stuff, 000A, cleans, kills everything. So we're going to hear a little bit more about that down the road.
Yeah, it's what I understand. I look forward to hearing more about that. We always need stuff like that because another thing that you get when the bad rap with wrestling is you hear about blood, you hear about bacteria, things of that nature. So it's always something that everybody has to pay attention to, whether you like it or not. You have to make sure your mats are clean at all times and all that good stuff. So it is very important to our sport.
Absolutely. Well, Heil started to put his headgear on, pulled the headgear off. Not sure. Coach Moore and him and the young man are having a little bit of discussion. Here he comes. Heil puts the headgear back on.
1:16 to go in the third. Let's go.
All right, Kraser is down. This is not out of reach for Heil. There's still room here. Heil's going to be on top. Going to line up on the right-hand side. Whistle blows right up onto his feet. Little switch move there behind is Kraser. Kraser up underneath. Oh, up off the mat. Pops. Referee says 2 points reversal. Iowa State. And again, Heil
Nice.
quickly up to his feet, but again returned a little bit more with authority this time by Kraser. Oh, he's got the leg in here near side and trying to come a little bit of headhunt there, but around Heil working nicely. Wrestlers on the far side of the mat. Under a minute to go here in the third period. Back down into the belly position they go. Again, riding nicely on top.
Krazier's very tough here. He did get high in the first period and almost got reversed a little bit, but he settles back in. He's got that wrist behind his back there.
Now, keeping good pressure on that head and upper shoulder area. You know, Heil, in fact, he's got the hips pinched there nicely. Has the leg in again. Boy, we got some swipes going now. The official with the swipes. We're going to get at least, 4 fingers are up. We're going to get 4-point near fall. Wrestlers go out of bounds. And with that, our bout score 14-3, 15 seconds. And Mr. Kraser has this match well in hand.
Yeah, with 15 seconds to go, you're losing in a match like this. Man, you just want to get your escape and try to get in on something offensive to finish the match, you know?
All right, Heil is down. Whistle blows. 10 seconds as we count the last 10. Boy, I don't want to drop back in and give any more points here, and the official's going to get more back points here as Kraser, again, has a half in. Not going to have enough time to take a deep. Boy, thank goodness there wasn't a few more seconds left because that was deep.
That was nasty. Nice little crab ride the bar to a half. 20 more seconds in that match, he might have stuck him.
I'll tell you what, Jamie, the other thing, too, looking at that last 4 points with, 12 seconds remaining, took the team score from a major decision to a tech fall. So instead of 4 points being put on the board, Iowa State puts on 5. Not that they need that, but to our young wrestlers out there, guys, never quit wrestling. Either way, right? Heil doesn't want to give up those back points. He doesn't want to give another team point away to the team score. Same way on the other side. Kraser picks that extra team point up. So important.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the team score is in this match. You're always trying to get more team points. Simply because you're going to be in a duel where you need every point. Those are the difference between finishing 11th in the nation and finishing 9th. Is some of those bonus points for in tournaments and in the duels. So it's always important to score as many points as you can. Like I said, to have finished periods as well.
Well, and that's a big word. We talked about that, the other day is that, idea of finish. Coach Bircher and I talking a little bit about that during that green game last week, making sure you can finish. And that's so important in our sport, too. You got to be able to finish. And, man, you got your foot on the throat. Don't take it off. Keep it going.
Absolutely. And we got David Carr coming up. We got Welcome to My House playing on the PA. The crowd's going to erupt. Both sides are going to be excited to see David Carr.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, this is the last bout of the evening. Again, you are joining us on Stark Media's live broadcast from our Combat Sports Division. The Cleveland State Vikings playing host to the Iowa State Cyclones. And Jamie called it. James, you know a lot about this young man. Who are we going to see at 165 here for the Cyclones?
Well, we have David Carr, and I'll tell you, if you haven't heard of David Carr by now, you must be living under a rock. He's David is going into his senior season. He's a 4-timer. He'll be going for his 4th national tournament. He's NCAA champion. He's going to be a 4-time All-American. He was a 4-time state champion in Ohio, but his 8th grade year, he won a state title in Kentucky. So he's actually a 5-time state champion, and he's just a kid that we've watched grow up and throughout the state of Ohio. Then, junior year, sophomore year, he came to Massillon Perry, so we got to watch him close up.
Came out of the Dayton area, right?
Yeah, at the end of his the end of his high school career.
No, I'll tell you what, and just a great young man, too.
Absolutely.
If you've ever had a chance to interact or talk to David, just a great guy, happy. Seems like he's always smiling, got a smile on his face. And it's going to be a lot of smiles when he breaks through the locker room here and comes out. Well, again, trying to use the music here a little bit there to welcome David back to his home, if you will. here in the gym of Perry High School, where he had some great and outstanding matches throughout his high school career. And again, a lot of cameras are up, videos are watching him come out. This place is going to erupt as he breaks. Here we go. And people all on their feet. And there you hear it. Listen to this crowd as they invite back in the hometown favorite. Boy, does he look good, James.
Absolutely. You know, he's not what you stereotypically look at and see a wrestler. You know, he's lean, he's long, he's tall. He's not a little stump like us guys are. You know?
No.
He's a pure athlete. He's one of those guys that epitomizes. And I say this from time to time. My wife always says that she knows nothing about wrestling. The great wrestlers make it look easy. David Carr, ladies and gentlemen. He never looks like it's hard. Look, right in on a shot.
And wrestling for the Cleveland State Vikings at 165 pounds, redshirt sophomore Daniel Patton. Patton comes out of Stowe, Ohio. He wrestled at Stowe Monroe Fall High School. And last year, a little bit around 500 record for the Vikings in high school. He was a two-time Ohio State placer. His highest placement was 4th in 2019 at 145 pounds. Not sure if these guys wrestled before in high school. Possible. But I'm not sure. You know anything on that, Jim?
I do not know. I know Carr got a takedown in under 5 seconds. He came out going. Came out swinging.
And he also gave the escape. 3-1 is our bout score. 2 minutes, 22 seconds here remaining in the first period. Carr again in on the single leg. And nice job by Patton getting those hips away, defending it nicely. Yeah, you talked about his structure, James. It is so hard to get to those legs on David.
They look like they're a half a football field away when you're engaged with him, especially if he's got his hands out. His arms are long. If he keeps you out in his range, there's that blast
nice power
double.
Blast double right into 3-point takedown Carr. Boy,
his range is so much longer than his opponent's for a shot like that. He's just a very difficult guy to break his stance and get to his legs. There's a little roll through tilt.
Absolutely, he's going to pick up some back points here. Has that near arm trapped. Patton trying to keep that head up, keep those shoulders off the mat. Official gives 4. This one may not go out of the first period, James. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Wrestlers go out of bounds, 10-1. David, you might want to hang in there just a little bit. Give the crowd a little bit more, maybe.
He didn't take long to get started.
This is my argument to making takedowns worth 3, back points worth 4. Is the elite guys, you're going to get to see them less.
Yeah.
They're going to tech fall people.
Yep.
And realistically.
And
but this has nothing to do with
that. No, this is not any of the 4 and 3. Inside cradle. He's got it tight. Patton trying to fight off his back. And again, hips are low. And David, it is nice and tight. He's trying to pull in and underneath. And there it is. The ultimate in our sport, the pin, the only pin here today. David Carr, 1 minute, 13 seconds remaining in the first period. Again, such a class act, looking at both the stands, blowing kisses up, telling everybody thank you for coming today. Thank you for the many years of support. This young man, it's going to be fun, James, to watch him throughout this college season.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch.
Wow, and with that 6-point, the final score of our match today as our teams meet to the middle to shake hands. It is the Iowa State Cyclones 43, the Cleveland State Vikings 3. Wow. What a way to start the year, James, huh?
Absolutely. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. This top-level national wrestling right in our backyard. This is Stark County, Ohio. This is what we're here to do, is give you the best we can, and all of a sudden the Iowa State Cyclones stop in. Welcome to Stark County.
Yeah.
Just another Sunday afternoon,
right?
Hanging out.
Absolutely. I could be over at Jamie's eating chili right now, but no, what am I doing? I'm watching this.
Listen, the way I see it.
Don't forget me on that chili, buddy.
The way I see it, I think the third quarter is just underway here in the game, so we might have to be stopping by Jamie's house.
Hey, we can do that.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, again, ladies and gentlemen, you have been joining TJ Downing, Jamie Fausnight, and Jimmy B right here at Perry High School as the first call of the Combat Sports Division comes to a close with a victory by the Iowa State Cyclones. Boy, they handled the Cleveland State Vikings. Jamie, as you look back through the match, what were you impressed with tonight? What really stuck out for you?
Well, this is two different levels of teams. The Iowa State is a top 10, top 15 predominantly team in the nation, and they're on the upswing. Cleveland State's just one of those schools that is always just trying to get national qualifiers. If they get an All-American, they're as happy as all get out. But what the real difference I saw between the two, was the chain wrestling, the short offense, those little things. They did. Iowa State looked a little better conditioned. For the first week out, you never really know. You never know. But this was a good one to get us started with.
Absolutely. TJ, I know you were down. You were working the crowd, giving a little love there for Stark Media, getting some footage there. I know you're going to have some great shots to put up on the Facebook page. Your thoughts? I know, again, like Jamie said, we had you drinking the Kool-Aid last year. We got the headset on. What did you think about today's match?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, I'm excited for wrestling season. Obviously, to be able to start it this way here inside of the Perry High School gymnasium, knowing all the success that they had. I'm excited to see Coach McBurney's boys out there wrestling. I'm excited to see, our guy Landon Ristoff and Liston Seibert. Who else? You got Faulkner looking to defend the heavyweight championship, and then around the area as well.
The Roar boys,
the entire county. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to really get this thing kick-started and get into year 2, and no better way than to do this here with, obviously, you talk about the eliteness that is Iowa State's program and what they're going to be able to do this year following David Carr, seeing what he's able to do, become a national champion again. I mean, the guy's he's laser focused out in. I got a chance to see him down there with his dad, and you can just tell that those two are so locked in on each other, and that the game plan has been there for you. Jamie, you talked about having diapers changed out there.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, right? He's been there alongside his dad for years, and all the preparation that's gone into it. You can tell that, he shoots in there, within 3 seconds?
Yeah.
And he gets the points.
He got the first takedown at the 5-second mark. I looked
up. That's pretty impressive. So I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see what everybody locally here does. Obviously, what you mentioned with the women, the girls. What's Mount Union's program going to look like now that you've got Clay Wenger there, and he's got the girls program getting ready to get started. Our boy down there, Aiden, is just walking by, and for the second year of girls sanctioned wrestling in the state of Ohio, I'm excited to see what that looks like, because last year, you and Chris Kali finished it off with a bang. I mean, there was nobody else talking about girls state championship wrestling other than my guy right here and Chris Kali on the microphone with everything that's going on in this sport. For those that said, I think 20 some years ago that it might be dying, it's not.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I think it's back with a vengeance.
I'll tell you this: you bring the girls in just recently. That was huge. We've mentioned it a couple of times. I remember I was sitting at a friend's house and with Brian Dolph and Brandon Slay. Now that, not to name drop, but that's some pretty iconic people in U.S. wrestling. And Brandon, we were watching a UFC event. This was every bit of 10, 12 years ago, and I asked Brandon Slay, what do you think of the UFC? Do you enjoy it? And he told me, he goes, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to our sport.
Yep.
Because kids used to grow up knowing that, I'm not going to be in the NFL if I wrestle my whole life. I'm not going to be in the major leagues. But they did it because they loved it. They loved the training. They loved all that. Well, now there is a place that wrestlers can move on to as a professional athlete. So those things combined have made wrestling really start to move up the scales. And now you're getting the NCAAs on ESPN, the NCAA finals. You're getting things like that on television now, where I never saw a college wrestling match on TV.
Right.
I never did, until I was an adult.
Well, the nice thing you talk about that, James, the NCAAs will actually be coming back to Ohio. I know not this year, not sure either next year or the year after, but they are returning back to the Buckeye State.
Yeah, so Cleveland was awesome. Cleveland did a good job of putting it on.
Absolutely.
And I think most people would still say that when it comes to mixed martial arts, when you talk about the different skill sets, are you a stand-up boxer? Are you a BJJ guy? What is the one style that you need to have the most to have the ultra most success, and I think it's the Wrestling Foundation, right?
You know, you guys, and I wasn't in many, you guys may have been through your lifetime. What they always say about a fight, you're going to end up on the ground at some time.
Yep.
If you're on the ground, who do I want to, you know, if I'm a wrestler, I'm going to be okay for the most part.
Right.
It really goes a step before. It goes a step in front of that. Like the wrestler in any type of a fight, the wrestler determines where it goes. The boxer's not going to determine. Oh, we're going to go on the ground on this one.
Yeah.
The wrestler can stand there and trade. He's not going to do that. The wrestler's going to stand there and trade, or he's going to say, "Look, you're coming down here with me." But I've said it before. You know, the big thing that for a back, I can be a big wrestling honk, and be like, "Yeah, wrestling's the toughest sport." But what it really boils down to is the training. Our training that these kids do in 5th grade is just different than any other sport, and that transitions into fighting is that training that you have to put your body through, the weight cut, the weight management, all that stuff. It just translates.
Well, I'll tell you what, again, today's match, you know, what was also exciting, of course, you know, this brought here, of course, because of David Carr, but it was great to see out of Cleveland State, Ben Smith, local North Canton athlete, wrestling here today. Ron Dimmerling, you know, one of TJ's Golden Eagles, baby, drop the wings, drop the claws, seeing them here. And, you know, overall, just, you know, a lot out of Worcester, Ohio, right? The young man, let's see here, that was from Cleveland State. Let me get him, Joey Lyons. So, again, so cool to see a lot of these guys that we've watched through the years down at the state tournament and stats come back at a collegiate level. Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let TJ take us home here. But, again, we'll be back online, the Combat Sports Division, where our next broadcast will be the Federal League preview that we did last year. What's that?
Stark County.
It's Stark County.
It's all Stark County. Yeah.
Stark County
that
preview.
Is November 27th?
I believe that is November 27th is what I have heard. So that will be the next time the Combat Sports Division will be joining you. But I'll tell you what, some of the things to look forward to, we're going to be at the Ironman 3 days this year. The women join the Ironman tournament. So the women will be up there, something new for that. We'll be over at the MIT possibly again this year, the Top Gun tournament. We're going to have the match of the week. Jamie and I will be out amongst the crowd. TJ is going to join us. And TJ, I understand that we're going to have a new member. Not only may Rod Strata jump in and give his little expertise to wrestling, but also you brought on another young man by the name of Ryan Logan.
Yeah, Ryan Logan, ran into him out at Congress Lake Golf Course, and we kind of hit it off. And by the time we got into the golf cart, we were already making a phone call to you, and he's calling you Mr. Bostic. And I'm like, listen, you're going to have to cut that Mr. Bostic stuff out when you get on air with him, man. He's just Jimmy B on the microphone. And so yeah, we're going to have Ryan come on and do some stuff for us, man. He's, you know, as we've kind of expanded the business with different channels, being able to give you more content, it's going to allow us to cover more events. So more bodies needed. I know Ryan is a guy that, you know, he has the background.
Very
coach at Brecksville.
Yep.
For a long time. CVCA and
Uniontown Lake grad.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. His brother is an official.
Yes,
correct.
Very good official.
What was down there at the state tournament, right?
Yep.
Well,
he's been on Stark Media. We broadcasted with him doing our matches. He did the Glen Oak North Canton match last year. He's been around. You'd know him if you saw him, probably.
Well, and I'll tell you what, too, when you mentioned the state tournament, Tej, at least at this point, word on the street is Stark Media will be mat side again at the state championships. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. I'll tell you what, we've got some big plans. We're going to continue to roll along here and grow this thing as we talk about combat sports, not just wrestling, but some of our good friends over there at Ground Zero MMA over there at the Checkered Flag Building, the newly rebranded Checkered Flag Building at 256 Erie Street South. We're going to do some stuff alongside them, some different mixed martial arts events that we will be on top of. And also, as we start to look into some boxing, we've got some things in the work with, not the name drop or anything, but LeBron James and his academy up there in Akron. They're looking to start a boxing academy up there, so we're in some talks with them in regards to what we might be able to do, giving them coverage and kind of putting that whole three-phase together, the MMA, wrestling, and boxing, and really kind of brand this combat sports here at Stark Media. So it's fun. It's exciting to see. And again, I tell you guys, and this is no lie, I've been looking forward to winter getting ready to start. Football can always be a little bit stressful because there's just so many moving parts. It honestly is some people will say it's not relaxing going to the holiday tournament for 10 hours, but to me it's like
It's
all
amazing.
the people you see,
Right.
you know, the faces, the excitement, all the matches you're getting to see everything. It's not just, you know, Hoover Glen Oak, that's cool, you know, it was cool to do the duel, but to see all of the kids from all of the different schools and just battle it out and have a long weekend tournament, be on top of it, and just see the excitement. I'm looking forward to it.
It's also a little more, wrestling's a little more intimate in the way that
Yeah.
they don't have a helmet on. You
Yeah.
like you mentioned AJ Dolph a couple times, or just a couple of kids that you've gotten to know. You spend a couple minutes with them, then you're watching them the whole day. This sport just sinks its teeth into you pretty easily.
Hey, I promise I won't call it a headset this year.
Well, and I'll tell you what, you know, we do this for you fans out there. Yeah, you know, Jamie and I, we love this sport. We grew up with this sport. TJ, we pulled him in. He's becoming a wrestling junkie. But, you know, we do this for you. So if you have some ideas out there, as TJ said, you know, we're going to have the In the Room segment will return this year. In fact, I think our first In the Room is going to be up at Norton High School.
Yep.
A little nice story there where Dan Statz is going to return as the head coach of the Panthers. So that's where we're going to start it out
Really?
this year.
I was not aware of that.
Yep, and you know, we're going to have the match of the week. We will be at all the tournaments. But if you have ideas out there, something you'd like to see, something you'd like for us to bring to you, the spectator. And again, remember, a lot of video. We're going to upgraded our video. Give us an email at starkmedia@gmail.com.
Yep, starkmediateam@gmail.com.
I always forget that team.
Drop it in there, man.
Give us an idea.
Let us know what's going on. If you see us on our YouTube channel, drop some stuff. I'll tell you what, that was also a fun little deal when we go out there and there just be people bannering back
I
and
love
forth
that,
on the
man. We
YouTube
were
channel.
talking to people. Hey, I see so-and-so. Join us, man. Exactly. Let's have fun. All right, Teej, take us home, brother. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Oh, no, I tell you what, I can't thank you guys enough for the work that you guys do in pushing not only the sport forward, but allowing Stark Media to be alongside it. So as we continue to roll along, make sure to follow us on the different social media platforms to stay up to date on what we will be doing and where we will be at Stark Media Team on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Got a quick little side story here before we wrap up.
Uh-oh.
You know, when we went up to Medina last year, Jamie, and we got a chance to see Medina Buckeye have a really good showing, and Buckeye took down Norton this past week, who was the number 1 seed in their region
Panthers
in
are
high
out.
school football. But I'll tell you what, that Buckeye team, they got some boys. They got some big fellas up front. They're ground and pound. They're not going to do a whole lot of things that are sexy on the football field, man. It's between tackles. It's ground and pound. It's smash mouth. I'm starting to enjoy seeing this Buckeye program, not only just from the wrestling side, but now transitioning to some football and their success here in this OHSAA state playoff format. So Buckeyes, they'll be a team to keep our eye on. A lot of teams, a lot of wrestling programs around here we'll keep our eye on. All things fall sports, all things winter sports are coming down the line for you right here at Stark Media. So as we say goodbye here from Perry High School, again, quick shout out to our presenting sponsors, H&H Truck Parts, Hilscher Clark Electric Company, and also the Eagles FOE 190. Make sure to check out Cackley Insurance up there at 619 Portage Trail in Cuyahoga Falls. Contact my boy Jason, and make sure to always get out there and patronize our veterans and all of their veteran service needs. Last night, great job by the Patriot Project Ball. I know the SAM Center was involved, serving area military, giving out over 7,000 pounds of food this past Friday to veteran families in needs. Also, the Leathernecks Nation MC and Save22.vet. All they do for our military personnel, those that are serving, those that have come back. No veteran should have to go without a roof over their head or an empty stomach. Make sure to get out there and take care of all of our veterans. All right, for Jim Bostic, Jamie Fausnight, I'm TJ Downing. We will bid you a farewell for the rest of this weekend. Go Browns. Hopefully we'll get an update here as we roll out. But we will be back next week. Jim,
2 weeks.
myself. Jim, you and myself,
that.
we'll be back. Make sure to catch
We don't know where yet.
Talking about round 3
I know.
of Ohio high school playoffs. We'll have our Stark Media High School Football Weekly show that will drop on Wednesday. So make sure to check that out on our YouTube channel. And then Jim, alongside Dave Bircher, myself, Mark Milano, Rod Strata, and Jeff Tyler, we will be scattered out around Northeast Ohio this coming Friday for round 3 of the OHSAA playoffs. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your weekend. So long.